In Edmonton tonight, one team is coming off a stinker. The other is still looking for consistency. The CFL on CBC in HD.
Edmonton meets Calgary on the football field. If it seems that these two teams play just a bit harder against each other than the rest of the league, the long-standing war of words takes physical expression in the crunch of body against body.
Every time these two clubs meet, Calgary and Edmonton, it's like a playoff contest. They're bitter rivals, and they go at it all the way.
It's one of the great rivalries in the league. Tonight, the 193rd meeting between the Stampeders and Eskimos at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. The CFL on CBC in high definition. Last week, a rare, humiliating loss for the Eskimos in Regina. The Stamps lost to BC, a game they thought they should have won. Tonight, a battle for third in the CFL West. Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Armitage along with Harry Jones, and welcome to the CFL on CBC in HD. 6 turnovers by the Stamps last week, Harry. 4 of those given to Henry Burris. Which Henry shows up tonight, good or bad?
Yeah, and that's a big question. There are definitely 2 sides to Henry Burris. I've heard Hank or Frank, good Henry, bad Henry, whatever you want to call it. I think what's frustrating to fans is that the highs and lows are so pronounced. I mean, when Henry Burris is high, then he is one of the best passers in this league, and he's a double threat because he's able to use his legs. But when he's low, that's when the turnovers occur. And Henry Burris, especially last week with the 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles, he just wasn't there, and it was bad Henry. I know Calgary is really hoping to see good Henry tonight.
Ron McClendon and Tyler Ebell have shared the running back duties for the Eskimos. Tonight, Ebell gets the start.
Yeah, and I think it's a good move by the Edmonton Eskimos. I think Tyler Ebell gives them what they haven't had the last few games. I mean, he rushed for 132 yards in his first game and then pretty much turned into a spectator. This Edmonton Eskimo team, they have 3 games rushing under 30 yards, and they need a balanced attack. I think Tyler Ebell is somebody that can give them this balanced attack, and they really have to use him today to be successful.
And Edmonton have scored 10 times this season, but none via the rush. Time now for Kahari's game notes. Sir.
All right, game notes it is. For Calgary on offense, Hank or Frank, usually the difference between these two is turnovers. If Henry can limit the turnovers, they have a good chance to win this football game. On defense, all backers to the front. This linebacking crew has a lot of responsibility in Denny Crean's offense. They have to rush the passer and they have to cover. They have to do this effectively. For Edmonton, on offense, time to ring Ebell. Look to see Tyler Ebell rush the ball a lot today, at least 15 carries, and get in the groove. On defense, step on the gas. AJ Gass, the undisputed leader of this defense, he has to make his presence felt, especially in pass defense.
It has rained in Edmonton most of the day. The slick, natural surface of Commonwealth could be a problem. On the positive side, the wind is not a factor yet. After losing to BC last week, Tom Higgins was angry, but not angry enough to make big changes. His team is 0-2 on the road, only scored 23 and given up 97 points. Danny Machocha's team lost to the Riders by 40 last week, but he didn't go ballistic in practice. 2-2-1 is not good, but not bad, according to Danny Machocha. This game in high definition tonight from Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. The Stamps won the toss. They deferred, so the Eskimos will receive. Ebell and Fred Stamps back to receive the opening kickoff for the Edmonton Eskimos. Stamps have struggled on the road, and they struggled here at Commonwealth Stadium. The Eskimos are 7-1 versus the Stamps in the last 8 games here at Commonwealth. Sandro DeAngelis tees it up. and we'll get this one underway. The first of 3 meetings between these two teams this year. They split the 4-game series last year. Ebel at the 10. And they work the reverse. A little bit of fancy stuff right off the get-go for the Eskimos.
Yeah, I think both of these teams are really looking for an edge, and they started off the right way, the Edmonton Eskimos, by trying something different, shaking it up. You have Ricky Ray coming out. A few more interceptions than he's used to at this part of the season. 2 games with over 3 interceptions, and he definitely wants to change that today.
And as a starter, Ricky Ray has won 5 of 6 regular season games versus the Stampeders at Commonwealth Stadium. 1st and 10 Eskimos from their own 16-yard line. First possession. The fake buys him a little time, and then I believe it might have been picked off. No, it's ruled incomplete. Ray under pressure. Clark was in position but couldn't hang on.
And the linebackers are starting the game off right. You see the linebackers coming off the edge on the rush. Trey Young comes up from the safety position. Make sure they know they like the Edmonton Eskimos love play action. Trey Young says, nope, we're not having any of that at the start of this game.
That's a ball that Brian Clark would catch 9 times out of 10. It is 2nd and 10 for the Eskimos from their own 16. A little bit of a slip there by Ray. Went to plant his back foot, and I talked about the slick, natural surface here at Commonwealth Stadium.
Yeah, that play on Krantz Clemens, it was just pretty unfortunate on that. He tried to throw the ball, Ricky Ray did, and Krantz Clemens had a better break than the receiver and ends up running over the receiver's back trying to get that football.
So the first break in this one coming early. Lie of the flag. Here's the call from referee Ken Lazaruk.
Pass interference, Calgary, number 32, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Again, you have a very aggressive Calgary defense right here. You see the slip by Ricky Ray, and Krantz Clemens sees the ball before the receiver sees that one and goes for it and ends up going over the receiver's back.
Not exactly the way the Eskimos wanted to move the ball, but they're taking 1st and 10 from their own 26. And they give to Ebel, big hole. Good run by Ebel, still on his feet, and dropped just shy at the 51-yard line.
Look at this, coming out ringing Ebel. I love it. Ebel gives them something that they didn't have necessarily with Ron McClendon, and that is a threat to break the long one. You see him in the hole, gets through the hole, makes a little quick move, but stops Browner's feet, gains 15 more yards on that play. Great run by Ebel to start off this game.
A 32-yard pickup, 1st and 10 Edmonton from the Stampeders 52. Out of the shotgun, Ricky Ray again having a little bit of trouble setting his feet on that slippery turf. Let's take a look at the Edmonton offense.
For Edmonton, it all starts with Ricky Ray in the backfield. Ricky Ray hasn't played all that effectively this year, but look for him with the running game to be better. The receivers, with one of their main receivers out, look for Trevor Gaylor to take up the load. And the offensive line, Kabongo, has been a very good second year being started on that offensive line, much better this year.
2nd and 10 Edmonton. Ray had his man open. He was looking for Ebel coming out of the backfield.
We go over the Calgary defense. Starts in the defensive backfield. Defensive line. Starts with 3 up front, undersized guys, but all of them have big motors. They need to help with the running game today. Linebackers, this group, look for Shannon James to really play a big part in covering receivers today. And Trey Young starts things off on the defensive backfield, 2 interceptions last week.
Not the best of starts for Ricky Ray and the Eskimos offensively. Sean Fleming with the punt. Marcus Howell just watches it sail over his head, and he will concede the single point. So the Edmonton Eskimos, with a punt from Sean Fleming, take a 1-0 lead on the Stampeders. A 72-yard boomer from Sean Fleming has given the Eskimos a 1-0 lead. But, Harry, I have to wonder about the field position. Was it worth the single point?
Yeah, I think it was worth the single point. I know he would have definitely liked to pin him down a little bit more. Field position is going to be big in this game because of the wet field.
1st and 10 for the Stampeders. The man under the gun in Calgary all week long starts at quarterback Henry Burris from the shotgun. 1st and 10 Stamps from the 35. Double tight end. Burris with all kinds of room. Burris still on his feet, and he tucked the ball in. Did you notice that, Gary?
Oh, I noticed it, but wide and clear. He got within 5 yards of somebody, and he had 2 hands on that ball. No one was getting that ball from him. He didn't care how many yards he got. You see this play, fantastic fake. Henry Burris has nothing but wide open spaces. Receivers do a great job of blocking downfield, and then you see Henry put both hands over the ball. He said, hey, no more fumbles. I'm going to make sure, like Higgins said, to hand this ball off to the referees.
A 39-yard pickup for Burris and the Stampeders, who are now 1st and 10 from the Eskimos 36. Burris finds his man, and that was a great pass to Nick Lewis in traffic.
Fantastic pass by Henry Burris, and now we go to the Stampeders offense. We have Henry Burris in the backfield, but Reynolds is going to play a big part in this game. He needs to get some touches. On the receiver side of things, you have Copeland, Bo Richter, but Thelwell is a new guy in there with Kenyon Rambo out. And an offensive line, you're missing Jay McNeil, but you add Garrett Jones. Let's see how this group holds up through the afternoon.
A 17-yard pickup. They're down to the 19, 1st and 10. They get to Joffrey Reynolds. Reynolds, tough man to bring down. Picks up a few yards. And that's what the Stampeders talked about, establishing Joffrey Reynolds.
Definitely, and they have had so many games where they pretty much used the pass to set up the run and then stayed with the pass. It's nice to see them come out in this first series and establish a little bit of the running game also, not only with Henry Burris, but Joffrey Reynolds. 2nd
and 5 for the Stampeders. Stampeders have been in the red zone inside the 25 14 times this season. 7 TDs, 5 field goals, and 2 times they come away with no points. Burris to pass. He's got his man open. Just inside the 5-yard line is Jermaine Copeland.
Henry Burris doing a great job of using both of his big-time receivers, Nick Lewis and Copeland. He's been with these guys for 3 years now. Feels like he knows them well. Copeland goes out and just does a little flat route. Henry gets him the ball quick, gets the ball out of his hands. Copeland does the rest.
3 catches for 100 yards and 1 TD in their loss to the BC Lions last weekend. Stampeders are now 1st and goal to go from the 4. This drive started at the 35-yard line. A give to Brett Ralph, and Ralph is going nowhere. A 5-yard loss for the Stampeders. Garrett was the man in on the tackle.
Fantastic play by Garrett to get over the line of scrimmage and block this play. They had no people in the backfield, so you knew if it was going to be a running play, it had to be Ralph. Garrett read it perfectly. He's a wily veteran in there and goes back and makes the play.
So the Stamps are 2nd and goal now from the 7-yard line. Burris with a bit of time. It's picked off. Oh. Perfect positioning for the DB, but there is a flag down. Flowers, the rookie, in the right place at the right time. We'll await the call from Ken Lazaruk.
Offside, Edmonton, number 91. After this is the goal line. Repeat 2nd down.
And even with the offsides on this, Flowers has to make this interception. These are the types of things that have been plaguing the Edmonton defense this year. You're in position to make the play, make the play.
Well, the rookie did his part, but Braidwood was offside. Move it down the 3-yard line. Burris out the shotgun, under pressure, gets a pass away. Touchdown, Stampeders, but a flag is down. Bo Richter was there to pull in the pass.
Looks to me like it's going to be offensive pass interference. Bo Richter watched him the whole play, came up, pushed off, used both of his hands to push off the defensive back, and then that is how he got so wide open in the end zone.
Good call, Eagle Eyes.
Pass interference. Calgary, number 89, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
See Bo Richter on this play. He's going to be lined up on the right side.
Second and goal now from the 13.
He gets open, but he gets open by pushing the defensive back off of him, and that is a no-no. You can give him a little chicken wing, we used to call it, but you cannot extend both arms to push off. You'll get called every time.
This is the 8th play of this drive that, remember, started from the Stampeders' 35-yard line. They give to Ralph again, and he fires back. Copeland.
Ooh.
Yeah, where did that one come from?
Oh, my goodness. Talk about opening up the playbook. And Henry Burris has got to jump on that ball. You saw the referees hesitate a little bit because they didn't know if that was a forward lateral or not, or backwards.
What was George Cortez thinking?
Oh, I don't know. They're just trying to get some kind of spark on offense, but they're moving the ball offensively. Braidwood stays, keeps his lanes. The Edmonton Eskimos do a great job of keeping their lanes. And, you know, just use regular plays when you get down here. A little bit of a sign of desperation, in my opinion.
Field goal attempt from Sandro DeAngelis from the 20. And it is good. So the Stampeders knocking on the door, but all they can do is come away with 3 points. They're up by 2.
Welcome back to Edmonton. Well, before moving to Calgary 3 years ago, Coach Tom Higgins spent 10 years in Edmonton, so he knows this natural grass surface at Commonwealth Stadium as well as anyone. And Higgins says too many teams get psyched out about it, especially when it rains. Well, this field did receive 5 to 10 millimeters of rain prior to kickoff. It's slick, going to make the running game more of a challenge, Stephen Kahari. And because it's slick, most players are wearing longer than normal cleats.
Well, it wasn't the turf that time, Brenda, that stopped the Edmonton Eskimo running back Tyler E. Bell. It was a great defensive effort from the Stampeders.
It definitely was. It was the turf that those D linemen were eating up there. I think the D line is really has a challenge this game to make sure to stop that running game. You see Scott Coe, one of the linebackers, helping out on that play. Need to stop E. Bell today.
A loss of 5, 2nd and 15 for the Eskimos from their own 30. Ray out of the shotgun. Ray has time, moves the pocket a bit, finds his man, and it's complete to Nowacki.
Calgary Stampeders do a great job of covering everybody deep. The only play that Ricky Ray has is a throw down low to Nowacki. He has the time. It's good blocking. He finds Nowacki. Stampeders are taught, hey, you let them catch it underneath and you come and make the tackle. If they keep them in second and long situations, then it can be a long night for Edmonton.
A punting situation for Sean Fleming and the Eskimos. Marcus Howell, a lone man back to get this punt. Fleming boomed a 76-yarder with his last punt. Another good high spiral.
Come on, Marcus.
Howell.
Come on, there,
at the 25. Tripped up. So the Stampeders will have the ball from their own 35-yard line. They lead by 2.
Ritz crackers just got better, and you're invited to the premiere.
We're gonna rinse it up. We're gonna rock it up, yeah. We're gonna stack it up. We're gonna dip it up. We're gonna rinse it up and have a ball tonight.
That same flaky, melt-in-your-mouth Ritz taste you love, but better, because now they're low in saturated fat and trans fat free.
We're gonna rinse it up and have a
Now you can Ritz it up the way you want.
Welcome back to the CFL on CBC. Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. First quarter Calgary leading 3-1. They have the ball, and they give to Joffrey Reynolds. Reynolds up to the 50-yard line.
Joffrey Reynolds playing a giant role in this for the Calgary Stampeders today. You see the first series, they used the play action on this play. It stopped up the defensive end a little bit. This time, he gets up the hole quick. Defensive end has no time to react.
We've seen the importance of establishing a running game in the CFL this season. Hamilton did it last night with Lumsden. BC have done it with Joe Smith, and now the Stampeders are doing it with Joffrey Reynolds.
Yes, they are. They said, hey, we are going to make a concerted effort to get him a part of things. As you saw before, the 2 wins, he has played a big part. 2 losses, 3 losses, not so much. They say, hey, it's only common sense. Get Reynolds the ball, let him do what he does best, and he gets better as the game goes on. So if you get it to him early in the 3rd and 4th quarter, it's going to pay dividends.
8-yard pickup for Reynolds on that last carry. Out of the shotgun, Henry Burris. Again, this time, no running room. There to meet him is A.J. Gass.
A.J. Gass. We're going to start with Edmonton defense. Look for Abdullah to make a big part, be a big part of this defensive line, especially playing his old team. As you saw there, A.J. Gass is going to be in the middle of this defense. He's a great reader of offenses. And in the defensive backfield, they have a lot of young guys, but look at the matchup with Goss versus Copeland.
Great reaction from the veteran A.J. Gass. Burkdale's in to punt for the Stampeders. Woodcock, lone man back. Woodcock hit almost immediately at about the 17-yard line. So Ricky Ray and the Eskimos will have the ball when we come back. Calgary leading 3-1. Welcome back. You're watching the CFL on CBC in high definition. A special welcome to all our viewers who are watching us worldwide, and especially to those Canadian troops, men and women, serving overseas. Your efforts are much appreciated. It's 1st and 10 for the Eskimos. They trail 3-1. The ball at the 17. Ray out of the shotgun. Finds his target. That was a much better pass to Ackery.
It really was. That was a big, small hole to put that football in also. Calgary Stampeders go with the 2-back zone coverage. Browner comes off of his man and almost makes the play here. That was great concentration by Ackery to make that catch.
Looks like Ricky Ray has found his rhythm. In the first couple of series, it didn't look like he was very comfortable in setting his feet on this natural surface. And if anybody should know the field, it's got to be Ricky Ray.
Definitely. And sometimes it'll take you a series or two. I played out on this field, and it's different in between the hash marks than what it is on the outsides of the field. And so it takes a while sometimes to get acclimated, get used to it, know how hard you can drop back on your drop back on your back foot, and then come through with the ball. But like you said, it looks like he really got a rhythm in that play, and we'll see if it continues on.
Just shy of the first down, a pickup of about 9.5 yards. They spot the ball just shy of the 26-yard line. They're going with Stephen Giles, the quarterback, on this, what will probably be a sneak. It is. And Giles got a little bit of running room, but there's flags all over the place.
Usually at that point it's offsides on the defense. They get a little happy and then say, okay, we're going to cross into that 1-yard zone. And Giles does a good job of not just going through the quarterback sneak where everybody thinks he's going to go. Takes it outside a little bit, gets some open field.
Here's the call. Well, I can read lips, and I also understand signs. That was offside against Calgary.
Yep, all day. Offsides, second and 1 is usually the time that you're going to see offsides from the defense. You see here, they try to get in that. They get in that 1-yard zone. Stephen Giles does a very good job of recognizing that They have 3 or 4 guys inside. Hey, I'll go outside.
1st and 10 Edmonton from the 31. Ricky Ray back in off the shotgun. Ricky Ray firing over the middle, and he was looking for Kamal Peterson. Peterson made a good stab at it. Bannister was covering on play and did the right job at the right time.
Looks like Ricky Ray led Kamal Peterson, thinking he was going to continue on the dig route, and Kamal Peterson stopped like it was a curl route. So maybe a little miscommunication.
Holding. Edmonton, number 56.
Have Kabongo here on the outside. He gets the holding. Kabongo is a big man, so if somebody gets low, gets under his pads, he has a tendency to get a hold now and again.
They're now 1st and 20 from their own 21-yard line. Ricky Ray on the shotgun. 4 receivers coming wide right. Ray puts it under his arm, looking for some running room, and again slips on the turf, but a flag is down. It'll be holding against the Eskimos.
Yeah, and I think Roundtree was the culprit here. It looks like a called draw for Ricky Ray. He goes back a couple of yards and then takes off. It usually tells you that it's a draw.
Holding. Edmonton, number 58. Decline. 2nd down.
Again, Roundtree, he's right here on the end. He gets into the guy. Oh, excuse me, Roundtree is coming on the tail end of that play. Tries to hold the guy up from the back. He can't do that as the offensive lineman.
The Eskimos can ill afford these mental errors at this stage in the game as the rain starts to come down here at Commonwealth. They're 2nd and 17. Ray out of the shotgun. Ray has time, finds his man, Kamal Peterson, but that won't be nearly enough for the 1st down.
Calgary Stampeders do the job they were supposed to do. Limit the deep pass. Ricky Ray has the time. He is looking for somebody downfield. You see him look right. He turns, he looks left. No one there. Throw the short one. Get out with minimal damage.
So once again, Sean Fleming will have to punt in the rain here at Commonwealth Stadium, and it's heavy, heavy. This is a heavy-duty shower. And we've had a few of those over the course of the day here in Edmonton. Good punt from Fleming. Howe at the 25. Howe does well to get to the 24-yard line before he is brought down. Don't forget MLS soccer tomorrow on CBC. The LA Galaxy at BMO Field in Toronto. Nigel Reed and Craig Forrest will have the call at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. The Galaxy and Toronto FC tomorrow on CBC. Maurer, the injured player.
Steve, it looks like this is going to be a game of field position, especially with this rain coming down how it is now. Both of these teams, the punt coverage and the punt return is going to play a huge part in determining how many points to score.
Well, so far at least, the Stampeders have not had bad field position from which to start a drive.
They have not, and even in that first drive, when Henry Burris with his 39-yard run, he basically puts them in good field position. Here you have that play again with Mike Maurer. He's part of the tackle. Looks like he gets underneath the pile there, and I want to suggest what's wrong, but it looks like they're going over his lower body and doing all the things you usually do when a knee injury of some sort takes place.
Year in, year out, Mike Maurer has been a warrior for these Edmonton Eskimos. Calgary up 3-1. We're in the 1st quarter here in Edmonton. Well, that's a sight you don't want to see if you're head coach Danny Machocha. Maurer, a key part of special teams for the Edmonton Eskimos, limping off the field.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to see that from Mike Maurer. I mean, he plays on all the special teams. He plays very good fullback and has great hands in the backfield, and I know Ricky Ray has used him over the years. Very good Grey Cup game a few years ago. Was the top Canadian in the Grey Cup.
Third member of our broadcast booth team tonight, actually patrolling the sidelines, is Greg Ferris. Greg?
Well, Steve, trying to stay dry down here. This rain. But you know what? The reason why the Edmonton Eskimos got embarrassed last week against Saskatchewan Roughriders because they did not show up to the park emotionally ready to play. Emotional linebacker and great linebacker in the CFL, Dan Kepley, has been just ranting and raving on the sidelines, trying to be the cheerleader for this Edmonton Eskimo team. They started off strong, but it looks like they've gotten real flat, so hopefully they bring the emotion going into the end of this first quarter, Steve.
Stay dry, Greg. 1st and 10 for the Stamps from the 30. Good fake, buys Burris some time, and he completes one to Bo Richter.
I like what they're pretty much starting what they did in the first series of this game with Burris giving the play action fake. What he does is reads the defensive end on this play. If the defensive end comes down, he holds onto the ball, and he gives out a nice strike to Bo Richter. Good start to the series.
Well, there's the man that Greg Ferris is referring to, Dan Kepley, one of the all-time great linebackers, period, in the CFL, certainly for the Edmonton Eskimos. 2nd and 3 from the 37. Quick pass over the middle, and it's complete to Ryan Thelwell, who drew the starting assignment for the Stampeders when they left Kenyon Rambo at home.
Yes, he did, and they start out with a double tight end formation on this play, which pretty much ensures that they're going to get one-on-one coverage on the outside. Thelwell has to become a part of this offense for it to be successful. Everybody has to play their role, and it was good to get him the ball in the first quarter.
Ricky Ray getting some new footwear, so he will be a little steadier on this natural turf at Commonwealth. Double tight end. 1st and 10, Stampeders from the 52. Again, good fake from Burris. And that time, he was looking for Copeland, but Copeland sort of put up his arms and said, there's no way I'm going to catch that one.
No, Copeland can catch most things, but he wasn't catching that. It looked like he threw it almost exactly in the middle of Copeland and Brett Ralph out there. Again, same play. He gives the fake. Defensive end comes down. Henry Burris keeps it. Just does not throw the strike this time. 2nd and 10.
And prior to that pass, Burris is 4 for 4 for 50 yards. 2nd and 10. Stampeders from their 52. Again, time for Burris, and he finds Brett Ralph. Ralph with good effort after the catch gets down to the 45-yard line.
That was a strength play by Henry Burris. He sees the blitz. He knows what he has out there. They play kind of a zone blitz. The Edmonton Eskimos do, so he knows he has time, but he has to get that ball out there in a hurry. Folks, that is a 35-yard throw out there just to get about 10 yards. And Henry Burris is the type of quarterback that can make that throw.
And they may be picking on the rookie Flowers. A 14-yard pickup, 1st and 10, Stamps from the Edmonton 44. Again, a good fake from Burris. And then he goes back to the man he faked to, Joffrey Reynolds.
This Calgary Stampeder offense is keeping things simple. Every first down on this series, they have started with basically the same play.
Calgary leading the Eskimos 3-1. Welcome back to the CFL on CBC and HD. Calgary up 3-1. Wearing the mic for us today, the Eskimos' Raheem Abdullah.
Mic'd Up, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's most reliable wireless network.
God showed me the way because the devil trying to bring me down. I want to be. Come on, Ricky. Come on, baby. Come on, old guy. Damn it, we need some more than that, baby.
We'll have more from Raheem Abdullah throughout the game. Right now, the Eskimos in tough against a pretty good drive from the Stampeders. Burris using 6 different receivers today. He's really using that receiving core well, perhaps the way Tom Higgins wanted him to do throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, and I think the first time we saw this was against Hamilton early in the season, and now he's kind of going back to it. And I like the fact that they're really keeping things simple so far. Henry Burris hasn't done a whole lot. You look at the stats, the passing yards, very good passing yards in the first quarter, but the rushing yards, and a lot of that was done by Henry Burris, but they're using Joffrey Reynolds. They are changing up the field position every time they get the ball, and that's going to be important in a game like this.
At the top of our telecast today, the panel, you and I talked about which Henry would show up for the Stampeders. It looks like the good one is in control right now.
I think you're right, you know, and the Calgary Stampeders are hoping that that continues, but, you know, in this game, all it takes is one pass sometimes.
1st and 10, Stamps from the Edmonton 33. Burris going deep up the middle. He was looking for his big target, Mark Boerichter, but it's incomplete. There's a flag down.
It looks like the pass interference is probably going the opposite way this time. Edmonton Eskimos puts a hand, Samuels puts a hand where he was on Boerichter downfield.
Legal contact on the receiver. Edmonton, number 10. 10-yard penalty. First down.
You see it on that replay there. Samuels just gives a little tug of the jersey. That's one of the tricks that DBs will use often. Most of the time they get away with it, not this time.
1st and 10, Stampeders from the 23-yard line of the Eskimos. 3 receivers wide left. He fires over the middle, complete to Copeland. Copeland takes a hard hit at the 10-yard line.
LaRose comes up and tries to make his presence felt by giving Copeland a little what for. Copeland gets up and says, hey, I've been here before. I've been there, done that. Quick pass by Henry Burris, gets it to Copeland. Copeland has just enough time to steady himself for that hit. Because he had time, because he knew the hit was coming, able to complete it.
And he was able to bury the ball.
That's it, hold on to the ball.
1st and 10. Burris has a man wide open. That is Brett Ralph. Touchdown, Calgary.
Play action is really hurting the Edmonton Eskimos. You see it here again, double tight end. Henry Burris uses the fake effectively. Joffrey Reynolds has ran it so good so far. All it is a simple flat route, but the defense has to respect the fake. They go one way, Ralph goes the other, touchdown.
Twice the Stampeders have been in the red zone, and twice they've come away with points, a field goal, and then the Brett Ralph touchdown. Sandro DeAngelis with the point after, and it is good. The Calgary Stampeders lead the Eskimos by 9 here at Commonwealth Stadium. Brett Ralph gets his first touchdown of the season, and the Stampeders lead 10-1.
What I like is a great fake by Henry Burris here. Gives him the fake, causes the defense to go one way. Brent Ralph goes the other way. That's how you score when you get into the red zone. Henry Burris looks very comfortable in this game. He has thrown the ball very well. I like the fact that he ran the ball on that first play and really covered up. It tells you he's learning from his mistakes.
8 plays, and it ate up a considerable amount of time on the clock. DeAngelis getting set to kick off. Ebel and Stamps getting set to take the kick. Tyler Ebel at his 10, 20. Still on his feet. He took a hit as he crossed the 25-yard line. Lysak was downfield. Good downfield coverage by the Stampeders. Well, the Edmonton Eskimos had a choice. They either went with Goldie McClellan or Tyler Ebel.
We can kind of get into a rhythm where that guy knows that week in and week out, whoever it's going to be, whether it's Tyler or Goldie, that they're going to be the guys. So they can kind of build their confidence and, you know, get into a rhythm themselves and be able to, you know, learn from the times that they're not playing so well, and it'll just make them a better player in the long run.
So far, a pretty good choice by Danny Machocha and the Eskimos staff in starting Ebel, but he has yet to match the numbers of Joffrey Reynolds. Flag down on this first down. Ebel has it at the 30, still on his feet. 35, he's at the 40, and knocked out of bounds, but a flag goes down.
Looks like there was a face mask on the end of that play. Like Ricky said, Ebel has to get in there and really establish himself as the running back. First time since the first game of the season that he's been able to do that. And he's not very happy about the being pulled down by his face mask, but it's all part of the game. You get 15 yards for it and you move on.
Karan Williams, the big defensive lineman, 6'1", 260 pounds, of the University of Massachusetts, is down on the field. This is a short week for the Calgary Stampeders. They're going to charter home tonight, and they travel to Montreal on Tuesday, play the Alouettes on Thursday.
Offside, Calgary. That penalty's declined. Major foul, face mask, Calgary number 27. 15-yard penalty added on to the end of the play. First down.
And that's tough to try to have 2 short weeks within the first 7 games, and the fact that both of these short weeks come away from home also. But again, you see the screen pass set up off of play action. Both teams, because they're running the ball effectively, the play action is going to be in play all day long. Browner, 6'4", just sticks out his arm there after being blocked. Grabs onto the first thing he feels. Unfortunately, that is Ebel's helmet.
The Eskimos aren't fussy how they move the ball, and if it takes a couple of penalty flags to do it, they're at least moving forward in the right direction. They are now 1st and 10 from the 52-yard line as Williams being helped off the field.
Look here in the middle of the frame. Williams is rushing. He gets double teamed. Looks like he makes a play downfield and tries to get Ebel, but even before he catches the ball and ends up falling down.
Chevrier comes on as a replacement. Ricky Ray under good pressure, but got it away. Gaylor with the reception. Brenda, what have you got?
Well, the problem with Edmonton special teams player Mike Maurer appears to be his right knee. They have fitted him with a brace, and they're hopeful, Steve, that will get him back into the game.
Well, they've already lost one player to a knee injury, and that was Jason Tucker, who came out this afternoon, tried the knee, but it didn't work. Maurer is trying to run off whatever is causing the problem. 2nd and 5 from the 47. Ricky Ray from the shotgun. Another solid pass, TJ Eckery.
Great play by Ricky Ray on this one. Just drops back, reads the defense out, sees that there are no linebackers in the middle of the field. The way his head is downfield the whole play, is able to step into his throw and deliver a strike in the middle of the field. This is what's going to give the Edmonton Eskimos momentum moving forward into the second quarter.
And with Tucker out, TJ gets the start for the Eskimos. A 15-yard pickup. 1st and 10 from the Stampeders 32. McClendon. So if Ebel can't do it, McClendon can.
That's a nice 1-2 punch they got going here. Goldie McClendon shows that, hey, I can still rush the ball too. Remember, he was the starter at the end of last year. Has a lot of talent. Coach Machocha says he's a much better runner in the open field, but you see his leg slip just out from under him. Could have turned that into probably a few more yards.
7-yard gain, 2nd and 3 from the 25. Not much faking there, and that was all solid running from Tyler Ebel.
Bell's doing a fantastic job of making the first person that touches him miss. You see here the handoff. Guys get their hands on him. The linebackers are coming up, but Ebel says, no, I'm not going down until I at least have that first down.
4 carries, 51 yards for Tyler Ebell. And this drive started from the Eskimos 28. They are now 1st and 10 from the Stampeders 16. Ray has a man wide open, Gaylor. And Gaylor made the catch but couldn't do much with it afterwards.
No, and Ricky Ray had to get rid of that ball because he gets hit in the mouth as soon as he throws this. You look, you see Carpenter coming off the edge. Gets a great hit on Ricky Ray, but Ricky Ray has that poise.
Greg Frères?
Well, you know, this is completely contrary to how the Edmonton Eskimos have been playing football games, at least offensively, rushing the football. In the CFL, they are last in rushing attempts. Steve, it's definitely working well for them today, and Ebell is definitely coming out of the woodwork here at Commonwealth.
2nd and 3 for the Eskimos, and that time the rushing game goes nowhere. Patrick in there for the Stampeders to make the stop on Tyler Ebell.
The Calgary Stampeders do a great job there of really guessing what the Edmonton Eskimos were going to try to do. They said, hey, they have had success running the football, so they're probably going to run this ball. We are going to stack the line of scrimmage. Our linebackers are going to play a little closer and make sure you don't get this first down.
It looks like Karan Williams may be done for the day, as the Eskimos will set up a field goal try for Sean Fleming. Good on 9 of 14 coming into this game. Should be a chip shot for Fleming, and it's a good one. It is now 10-4 favor the Stampeders with 9 minutes to play, 2nd quarter. You're watching the CFL on CBC in HD. Don't forget, tomorrow the Blue Jays wrap up a 3-game home series against the Texas Rangers. Jim Houston, Rance Mullenix, and Jesse Barfield have the call at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Jays and Rangers. Here at Commonwealth, Stampeders with a 10-4 lead over the Eskimos. Following a Sean Fleming field goal. Denny Crehan talking to the Stampeders defense.
He relies on a lot of those linebackers on the defense. They have to call the plays out. They're rushing the passer. They're playing man-on-man coverage. He expects a lot from them. Wants him to deliver.
Marcus Howell let that one skip by on the wet turf here at Commonwealth, and he'll have to concede a point. Well, as much criticism as Henry has gotten in the past week after that loss to the Lions, the team is still 100% behind Henry.
Everybody supports him. The team is behind him, and hopefully with that feeling that then he goes on out and executes, and then we can put this all behind us, that Henry finishes the football season and takes us into the playoffs.
And that's really the most important thing. You have to have the team behind you when you're the quarterback. You're always going to get criticism. There are always going to be things that are thrown at you, but if the team stays with you, then you have a chance.
Burris and the Stampeders 1st and 10 from own 35 following that single point. Calgary up by 5, 10-5. Burris unloads to the far side of the field and finds Brett Ralph. And then it's picked off. The ball is stripped. Flowers, and then flags go down.
That was a good play by Flowers. I mean, it's over there. They ran this play before. Henry Burris just gets it out there, and it looks like Flowers gets the strip.
Took his helmet off. I'm sure he was flagged.
That's the flag.
Hey! 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 Hey!
You got Edmonton ball.
It's like they're saying Edmonton ball here.
Edmonton recovered the ball after the play was over. Objection to conduct. Edmonton, number 77, a loss of 10 yards. First down, Edmonton.
Well, A.J. Gass was guilty of the objectionable conduct, but the most important thing from an Edmonton point of view is they get possession.
Definitely. I think they'll take that trade here. You see Henry Burris using his arm strength again on the way down. Play by Flowers. Before Ralph gets down, instead of tackling Ralph, he tackles the ball. Look at this. He has Ralph at the beginning, and then he says, hey, I got a chance to get this ball. Why not take that?
The Eskimos talked about that all week long, how they had to get more aggressive to the ball carrier. 1st and 10, Edmonton. Some fancy step work there from Ebel. You can see why they decided to go with him ahead of Goldie McClendon.
And I think the Edmonton Eskimos saw something in last week's game with Joe Smith running over this defense. They say, hey, Ebel can do some of those same things. He has the quick moves inside. Once he gets in the open field, he is a north-south runner.
Ebel, 6 carries for 68 yards. That was an 18-yard pickup. And why not go back to that same well?
Make them stop it. Calgary Stampeders have shown that they are not very good at stopping the run right now, so keep running the football.
Calgary had this problem against Joe Smith and the BC Lions late in the second half. Greg Ferris, what do you got?
Well, after not converting on that last 2nd and short, when that offensive line came over to the sideline for the Edmonton Eskimos, offensive coordinator Jacques Chapdelaine just ripped into them and said, we have got to get that. We need to move people off the ball. You see that his message has definitely got through to this offensive line.
Stefan LaFours handing off to Ebel.
Greg is absolutely right. The trenches are a pride position. And when the coach has to motivate you, has to get in your face and say, hey, if we need 3 yards, we have to get 3 yards. This is the same situation here. You see Kabongo getting his block, those guys pushing off the line, and first down is the result.
So now the Eskimos have used 3 quarterbacks. Stefan LaFours and Stephen Giles.
That is one of the things that the coordinator likes to do there, get all of their quarterbacks involved early in the game. So just in case something happens to Ricky Ray, everybody is into the game, has their head in the game.
1st and 10 Eskimos from the Stampeders' 27-yard line. Ray with time, puts it up, he's got a man open, and he was looking for Ekry, and he overthrows him.
Again, Ricky Ray feeling the pressure a little bit, gets hit right after that play. Just leads it out a little too far for Ekry. But you see it here. He is taking a lot of hits in this first half. Ricky Ray is one of those quarterbacks that the hits just don't seem to affect him. He's had Grey Cups where he's been hit play after play, and he comes back and he's able to throw a good ball still.
They'll do it again. 2nd and 10 Eskimos from the 27-yard line. Ray again going deep and looking for Trevor Gaylor that time, and again it's incomplete. And again, they were picking on Carpenter.
Yep, they're going for it. I like the fact that they threw it twice to the end zone. They're trying to score touchdowns here. Ricky Ray sees the one-on-one matchup. Gaylor, especially with Tucker out, is going to be one of his main one-on-one guys. He just overthrows him again.
Sean Fleming, 1 for 1 in this one. And this kick will come from the 34-yard line. Field goal attempt. Dead solid perfect for Sean Fleming, 2 in a row. Edmonton down by 2, 10-8, 5:27 to play, second quarter. Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. You're watching the CFL on CBC in HD. The Eskimos doing something they haven't done terribly well this season, getting points off a turnover, albeit it was only a field goal from Sean Fleming, but they've closed the gap to 2 points. Stampeders have possession, 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Onatulu in the game for the Eskimos. Good fake from Burris. He's going to have to run this one. Samuels coming up and making the stop on Henry Burris.
It's getting chippy out there. Guys are running all over.
Well, we expect this kind of intensity, this kind of emotion from the Eskimos and Stampeders whenever they meet in a Battle of Alberta, but I'd suggest throwing helmets is not the kind of emotion you want to see.
No, and I think A.J. Gass is out of the game because of that. As a veteran, you cannot lose your head like that. You cannot put your team down a man, and it looked like an all-out battle out there.
That's why we call it the Battle of Alberta.
Yes, it is. It is. This is only the first time. They do this a few more times.
I will say this, tongue firmly planted in cheek for A.J. Gass. It was a good throw.
It was a good throw. And you see him over there talking to Kepley right now, one of the most fiery guys that ever played this game. So Kepley understands what happened, and you see him. He's telling him what went on, and Kepley's like, hey, you do what you have to do out there. But unfortunately, they might lose A.J. Gass because of it. A.J. Gass looks like they're doing a little helmet fighting, him and Comiskey. And the helmet throw. I think that was the final straw on that. Comiskey's double team right there, and A.J. That little extra, that is what will get you kicked out of a game. And if I were a betting man, I would say that was A.J.'s last play.
Well, that might have started when Onatulo punched Lazio. Maybe if we get another replay, we can see how that whole thing started. But it's not going to be good news for the Eskimos if they lose somebody like A.J. Gass.
You're absolutely right. And those types of things with the offensive line versus the defensive line and linebackers, there are so many things that happen during the course of a game. There's holding, there's grabbing in places that you don't want to be grabbed. There's hitting, there's eye gouging. But those are all things that, as a football player, you know those happen, and you have to keep your head about you.
There are old-timers in the game who would tell you that's what football is all about.
That's exactly right. And football hasn't changed all that much. I mean, we still talk about the fundamentals of the game, but it is one-on-one battles. It is guys going at each other. And if you go at a guy one-on-one for plays on a time, things are going to happen.
The one thing you don't see that often in football is fighting, because there really is no need to fight. You can get even with a guy on the next play because it's a full contact sport.
Exactly right. You get to have your aggression out on every single play. If you want to hit somebody, you have a chance to hit somebody anytime you want to on a football field. So usually, like you said, there aren't any fights. But again, when it goes against hitting, it goes to something else, and I'm sure something else happened. It looked like both guys had control of the helmets. That is when it becomes a problem.
Well, Ken Lazaruk and his officiating team conferring now with both sides of the football here to get this thing straightened out. Greg Frères is down on the sideline. Greg, you were involved in a few of these battles of Alberta in your time. Did you ever see anything like that helmet toss from AJ?
Well, you know, I have definitely seen some physical play on my time, and definitely here on Commonwealth Field and back in McMahon. But at the same time, and Kahari, you know that I'm all about physical play on the field. But you know what? You have got to be disciplined as a football team. That's something that neither of these teams are. Two of the more penalized teams in the CFL. You want to talk about the BC Lions, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. These are teams that are playing extremely well, but they're also being very disciplined.
After the play was over, we have a disqualification, rough play, Edmonton number 77. We have another disqualification, rough play, Edmonton number 44. We have major fouls, unnecessary roughness, Calgary number 64. We also have another unnecessary roughness, major foul, Calgary number 62. After it's balanced out, it's a 20-yard gain for Calgary and first down.
Well, that's it for AJ.
Greg, just like you said, these are undisciplined teams. That a little extra after the play, if he didn't do that extra after the play, he would have been fine. But you do that extra and you get caught for it.
Well, and Kahari, this is 5 minutes left in the first half. We got a whole nother half to play, and now you got two some dominant players for your team not playing in the second half. That's going to hurt your football team. You got to be disciplined.
Exactly.
And the Eskimos are right in this. They're only down by 2. It's 10-8. As you mentioned, with just over 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. What all of this does is move the Stampeders to the 54-yard line of the Eskimos, where they are now 1st and 10. So Henry Burris will operate from the shotgun once the play is blown in. Burris finds his man, Ryan Thelwell, and Thelwell tripped up at about the 42-yard line.
Got another look at the fight here. See everybody get in the middle. When you're pushing, when you're shoving, you're fine, but soon as you punch, soon as you have the helmet and you practice the helmet toss, that is when it's a problem. Then you got the punch at the end. It's all the little things that happen at the end of a play that will get you out of a football game.
A gain of 12 on the last play. 1st and 10, Stamps in the 42. Burris has his man, Brett Ralph, and Ralph brought down just inside the 25-yard line of the Eskimos.
Brett Ralph is becoming a key contributor to this team. I think what Henry Burris sees is somebody that in one-on-one coverage, they're kind of looking at Henry instead of looking at the man. And Brett Ralph is benefiting from it. Omar Morgan.
New look linebackers for the Edmonton Eskimos out of necessity. 1st and 10, Stampeders from the 24. Burris sets up the screen to Ralph. And Ralph is brought down the moment he took possession of the ball from Burris.
And it looks like the Edmonton Eskimos have a lot of fire to them right now. They just lost 2 of their defensive players. They know that they're going to have to step it up. A big hole in the middle. Antico Dalton is going to play a huge part in this defense now that A.J. Gass is gone. You see Shabazz and Garrett come up on that play.
Garrett's in a position that he's not used to. 2nd and 8, Stampeders from the Eskimos 22. Burris has time, and again he goes to Ralph. Ralph, again with good yards after the catch, forced out of bounds at about the 14-yard line. 2:52 to play, second quarter. Calgary lead by 2, 10-8 over the Eskimos. Welcome back to the CFL on CBC and HD. A spirited game here at Commonwealth Stadium in the last couple of minutes. The Eskimos getting 2 players ejected, including A.J. Gass. So Dalton is in the middle for the Eskimos. Shabazz and Garrett on the outside. 1st and 10, Stampeders from the 14-yard line of Edmonton. Joffrey Reynolds down to the 10-yard line. Butterell in to make the stop. Flag goes down.
And it is Chippy. Kind of an angry game right now. It looked like that was another flag kind of after the fact. Again, you have Antico Dalton in the middle. Botterill is playing a more pronounced role now that A.J. Gass is not in there. And, you know, some mistakes are going to be made by this Edmonton defense. Hopefully they can use their emotion to their advantage right now.
And this is when you have to keep a cap on your emotions.
Yep, there's
holding, Calgary, number 68, 10-yard penalty, 1st down repeater.
Well, that wasn't so much emotions as just a bad play on the part of Rob Laziel.
Yeah, Rob Laziel, when you're down in the red zone, you can't move yourself out of the red zone by a penalty. Both of these teams have been plagued by it all year. Need to be more disciplined than that.
They spot the ball at the 24-yard line of the Eskimos. Stampeders now 1st and 20. 3 receivers wide left. Burris under pressure. Burris rocked, and a loose ball. Brown getting in there to make the initial tackle.
We got a flag in the defensive backfield. But again, one of the things that you see from Henry Burris is him giving up the ball. That is a tendency of bad Henry.
I don't know that he had a choice there, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he got hit pretty hard in there.
Here's the call. Ken Lazarus.
Legal contact and receiver. Edmonton, number 23. Half the distance goal line. First down.
Garrett guilty of that infraction.
Shannon Garrett is a defensive back by nature. Again, he's going to be playing linebacker, but he covers like a defensive back and just gets his hands on the receiver for too long.
So the ball is moved down to the 14-yard line. First and 10 Stampeders. They lead by 2. 2:33 to play, second quarter. A Wild and Wooley second quarter. Joffrey Reynolds, Samuels, and Brown teaming up to make the stop.
And you see Samuels come down on the line of scrimmage. He felt like that was probably going to be a run play. So he says, okay, let me get involved in this. I know I'm a defensive back, but he's always been known as a defensive back that can come up and hit you. Sheds the block of the receiver and makes a good play.
Dalton back into the game. Botterill is out. The Eskimos forced to make some changes on defense at a very inopportune time. Stampeders now 2nd and 8 from the 13. 4 receivers wide left for the Stamps. Flag goes down. Burris looking for somebody, elects to keep it himself and is forced out of bounds just outside the 10-yard line by Dalton.
That was a great use of cadence by Henry Burris on this. He gets the guys to go off sides. What I would have liked to see from Henry Burris on this play is give his receivers a chance in the end zone. He knows as a quarterback, you know you've drawn the team off sides. Give them a chance to catch the ball in the end zone, but I'm sure.
Offside, Edmonton, number 91 and number 53. 5-yard penalty, second down repeated.
But I'm sure, with Henry Burris's pass, he didn't want to make a bad play because he knows how that can sometimes spiral on him. But he sees right here that he has the defensive ends both offsides. He says free play, give him a chance in the end zone.
5th Edmonton penalty this drive. 2nd and 3, Stamps from the 8. Burris with time, goes deep into the end zone. Touchdown, Calgary! Jermaine Copeland.
Jermaine Copeland, one of the best receivers in this league with the ball in the air. He knows how to position his body and make the big play. And there you see just an abbreviated version of the touchdown celebration. Henry Burris buys time. Great move by Copeland to stop his momentum and make sure to keep himself in between the ball and the defender.
Sandro DeAngelis is good on the point after for the Stampeders following that touchdown toss to Jermaine Copeland, and Calgary have a 17-8 lead.
Again, you look at Henry Burris on this play, he buys time, he jumps back. I love the fact that he stops his feet. Copeland stops his feet, because if he would have kept moving on that play, then that ball would have been a little underthrown. But he stops his feet, makes sure that he gets the catch.
Don't forget, at the half today, the panel will analyze this first half of play here at Commonwealth. Lots to talk about, and I'm sure that Mr. Benefield and Mr. Millington and Mr. Frers will have opinions on what transpired. 2 Eskimos getting tossed out of the game, and we will go back in the day and look at why Edmonton is called the City of Champions. What a dynasty the Eskimos had for so many years. Let's eavesdrop.
There's a lot of fucking chunk going on out there. All right? Screw them. Play defense the way you guys know how to play it. Forget the extracurricular talk. Let's go play some ball. All right? Everybody with me on that?
I guess I eavesdrop at the wrong time.
real emotions of the game. I like it.
You win some, you lose some. DeAngelis with the kickoff. Woodcock. Yeah, Woodcock brought down just shy of the 25-yard line. So a chance for the Edmonton Eskimos and Ricky Ray to go to work as Dan Kepley has his say.
So that we know how to get the job done. Okay? If we're supposed to cover, let's fucking cover. If we got to rush, let's rush. When we got a chance to tackle, let's do what the fuck we're supposed to do. Do you understand that?
And I want you to know he played with that kind of passion on the field. Unbelievable. Danny Kepley. 1st and 10 for the Eskimos. They trail 17-8, ball at the 24-yard line. Flag down. Ricky Ray dumps it over the middle for Ebel, and Ebel is tripped up just shy of the 30-yard line.
Flags down on that play. What you saw on the sidelines is coaches really trying to take control of this team, trying to use their emotions in a positive way.
Offside, Calgary, number 76, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Don't forget, Warrior of the Game. Log on to cbcsports.ca in the second half to vote for the player who you think showed the heart and determination of a Warrior. We'll show you the winner in the post-game show. Warrior of the Game brought to you by the all-new 2007 GMC Sierra Professional Grade as Ricky Ray goes to work, finds his man, Acree.
Acree is doing a very good job of filling in for Tucker so far, but what I'm still seeing is that people are in Ricky Ray's face. Again, he drops back. Looks like Randy Chevrier gets through the middle, but still Ricky Ray is able to throw a good ball on that play.
Grant Clemens shaken up on the play for the Stampeders.
Hey, Brian!
Krantz Clemens was in coverage on that play. He almost got to the ball. And you don't know what happened to him, but
this is an area where the Stampeders have had to make some changes at secondary.
Yeah, they definitely have. Brandon Browner has been a mainstay out there, and Trey Young. But again, they've switched up a few places. Brightful now comes in. He hasn't played too much this year, but he does have some experience.
Ricky Ray, 8 of 13 in passing, 77 yards. They are 1st and 10. Ray with a little bit of time, but no receiver. And he fired that behind the Stampeders bench.
Yeah, and it looked like Edmonton was trying to run a double move on Browner there. They were trying to use his aggressiveness to his disadvantage, and Browner ends up reading the play, covering the receiver like a blanket.
No intentional grounding because the ball crossed the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10, Edmonton from the 38. Ray, nice touch, finds Acree.
Great throw by Ricky Ray, rolling to his left. Ricky Ray is not one of those quarterbacks that has this giant arm, but he always seems to get the ball there when it needs to get there. That's the sign of a good quarterback that has control of the game, that knows how to read a defense and say, okay, this guy's gonna be open, so I'm gonna anticipate it and get the ball out early. Perfectly thrown ball.
Acree making the most of his start in place of the injured Jason Tucker. From the 49, Eskimos 1st and 10. Ray over the middle, and his man wide open. And he was deep inside coverage, and again, it's Acree.
This is the Ricky Ray Acree show right now. These two seem to have a nice bond. Every time he goes back, he knows Acree is going to be running the right route, so he's getting him the ball early. If it works, keep doing it.
An 18-yard pickup. 1st and 10, Eskimos from the 43-yard line of the Stamps. That time, he was looking for Kamal Peterson. There were 3 Stampeders parked around Peterson.
Calvin Bannister had a fantastic chance at an interception on that play. Looked like he looked for the hit a little more than he looked for the ball. It's one of the missteps by Ricky Ray, one of the few.
Well, the Eskimos have lost 2 players by disqualification. The Stampeders are losing players with injuries.
What you find is on a wet field, on a wet grass field, one of the things that these guys aren't used to playing on, really, especially the Calgary Stampeders, is that their footing is going to be just a little off. And when that happens, when you're trying to cut, when you're trying to make little moves, a lot of leg injuries can occur. And it looks like they're checking out Gargiulo's legs on this play, but pretty.
Well, get the mud off your cleats. That's the way they do it. That mud buildup on the bottom of your shoes can really play havoc, especially if you're a receiver trying to cut. You're an offensive lineman trying to dig in. If it's covered in mud, you just lose traction.
You're exactly right. I mean, when you have mud all over your shoes, it almost becomes a flat shoe instead of the cleats that you need to really dig into this grass here in Commonwealth Stadium.
Well, we mentioned that Jason Tucker is out, and he has had an incredible career against the Stampeders, 12 touchdowns in 15 games. So Chevrier comes into the game for the Stampeders. 2nd and 10, Edmonton on the Calgary 43. Stampeders up 17-8. Ricky Ray under pressure and moves the pressure. He's got a wide open field in front of him, elects to pass, and it's complete. Kamal Peterson at about the 22-23 yard line. Ricky Ray had a ton of real estate in front of him.
One of the underrated about Ricky Ray is his ability to move in the pocket. I mean, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but when he sees pressure, he's able to get down. And Ricky Ray is a strong quarterback. He's able to push off of that first guy, looks downfield, always looking downfield, and finds Kamal Peterson.
A gain of 20, 1st and 10 for the Eskimos. They go to the corner, and it's complete. Guess who, folks? Acree.
Oh, he has a good feel with Acree right now. A fantastic play. Acree runs what we call a flag route. He goes up and goes to the corner. Ricky Ray looks that way all the way. Sees Browner. Browner doesn't bite on it. And that is a hard throw, folks. He has to throw over one guy and under the next guy, and Ricky Ray makes it look easy.
Well, again, they've gone to the backup, Stefan LaForce. 1st and goal from the 3, and they're going nowhere that way. Cornelius Anthony read that one perfectly.
Both Anthony and Clark beat each other in the backfield on this play. Happens when you get down by the defensive line. Anthony starts it off and Clark finishes it. Linebackers might be small in stature, but they're good at shedding blocks up front. And that's what these 2 linebackers do on the play.
Denny Crehan on the Stampeders defense under the gun. 2nd and goal for the Eskimos from the 5. Ricky Ray back in a quarterback. Unloads. Finds his man. Ebel. Touchdown, Edmonton.
All about Ebel. Ricky Ray just throws him a flat route, one-on-one with Krantz Clemens. Krantz Clemens goes for the hit, hits nothing but air, and Ebel goes in for the score.
Well, for the first time this season, the Eskimos have scored in the final 3 minutes of a half, thanks to Ebel. Fleming tries the point after. It is good. Don't go away, folks. We have got a dandy here at Commonwealth Stadium. Stampeders in front again by 2 points over the hometown Eskimos.
Yeah, we watched the play. Ebel just right from no blocking responsibility. His whole job is to get out to the flat. Ricky Ray delivers him a nice ball on time. Then it's one-on-one. The running back wins. Prince Clemens loses that battle. I love it. You see the two running backs? Doesn't matter who does the job as long as one of them gets it done.
He was outside. No, but he was outside on the Giants. We're not getting freaking calls today.
Last 3 possessions for the Eskimos, a couple of field goals and a TD, and they beat that man, Browner, on that last play.
Hey, Fred, let's go something for the 504.
Ricky Ray has answered the challenge from Henry Burris. The Eskimos back into this one.
Rick!
Great drive by the Edmonton Eskimos.
Hey, Rick!
Obviously, Rick not talking to this man. What can I tell you? Just tuned him out.
Want to come sit next to me? Huh? Please?
Did he just ask the quarterback if he could play next week?
I think he did. They're begging for playing time over there now. I love it.
Pick it up, pick it up.
A squib kick. Picked up by Patrick and returned across the 40-yard line. Let's take a look at that drive again, and it was a good one.
It was a good one, and it all started with Ricky Ray to Acree. These two connected on many plays downfield, and then Ebel does the rest. Gets the ball early, makes a guy miss. Nice drive by Edmonton. Has to give them confidence going into the second half.
Second receiving touchdown of the season for Tyler Ebel. First and 10, Stampeders from the 40. And before they get that one off, a sea of flags thrown.
And with 22 seconds left, Calgary Stampeders need about 25 yards to be in field goal range. So that's a good 3 or 4 plays that they have to get down and try to get some more points.
Shouldn't
Procedure, Calgary, number 64, number 68, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Jeff Pilon, 64.
And you see these offensive linemen trying to get a jump on the competition. They have a very tough job down there trying to figure out who they have to block every play, with defensive linemen coming at them, linebackers, and defensive backs. Everybody is coming these days.
A number of momentum swings in this half, and it looks as if it's gone back on the side of the Eskimos. Stampeders now first and 15 from their own 35. Burris passes over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Nick Lewis, and he hasn't been looking for Lewis much this afternoon.
No, he saw him on the first play, on the first pass play, I believe, and then this is the second time that Nick Lewis has had a chance. Looks like miscommunication on this play. Henry Burris threw the hitch pass, and Nick Lewis was running an in route on this play. So they're going to have to get that settled and come back in the second half and see if they can connect.
Well, that play managed to stop the clock. 19 seconds to play in the second quarter. Second and 15, Calgary. Joffrey Reynolds spins off a 1 tackle, picks up a couple of yards, runs into the arm of Goss, and we get a timeout. 15 seconds remaining to play, second quarter.
The thing in the CFL with those last 3 minutes, you can get a lot of plays in. Before the penalty, Calgary Stampeders were thinking get in the field goal range. Now Edmonton Eskimos with a shank punt, with a good return, they can get in field goal range and put more points on the board.
Well, it has forced the Stampeders into a punting situation. Woodcock, the lone man back, just outside his own 15-yard line. And the Stampeders look like they're going to have an onside man to the left of Bert Gales.
Yeah, you talk to Coach Higgins, and he says that there are about 5 or 6 fakes that are put on for the game, every single game, and they turn it on, and then most of the time they turn them off, but hey, you never know with him.
Craig Dickinson, the special teams coach, and now Trey Young moves up into a blocking position, so he won't be the onside man. A punt from Bert Gales. A good high spiral. Woodcock at his 22. Woodcock has room. Woodcock crosses the 50 and forced out of play at about the 52, 53-yard line. But there's only 1 second remaining on the clock. What do you do? Hail Mary or take a knee?
Hail Mary, there are a few options on this play. I mean, you can throw the Hail Mary. You can even throw the ball 30, 40 yards downfield and try a drop kick for 3 points. I mean, there are a whole lot of possibilities that could happen at the end of a half.
I don't think that would be in the range of Sean Fleming on a very good day. He was ready to go, though. He had the helmet on and said, hey, if you need me, I'll try it. Ricky Ray takes the knee, and what has turned out to be a very entertaining, a different kind of second quarter here at Commonwealth Stadium is over. The Stampeders head to the dressing room with a 2-point lead on the Edmonton Eskimos. A major incident disqualified 2 Edmonton Eskimos, and we thought it might hurt their defense, but it really hasn't. Let's go down to the field level. Here's Brenda with Tom Higgins. Brenda?
Well, Tom, your quarterback had to endure criticism, internal and external, this week. How do you think Henry responded?
Well, internally, not that much challenges. Externally, yes, he handled it well, but he had a decent first half. Not everything was perfect, but a pretty good first half, and then we just got to have another good second half.
It's not too often you're playing football and a hockey game breaks out. Your thoughts on the chippiness in that first half?
Don't like it. I don't like the lack of discipline, but hopefully we can keep everything under control so we can have a football game in the second half.
Thanks for this.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Now let's go back to Steve.
Thank you, Brendan. I'm glad to hear that. Tom Higgins did not like the chippiness. 17-15 to score at the half. Stampeders over the Eskimos.
Well, this is the story of the first half, and Edmonton fans won't like it that A.J. Gass, for this helmet throwing, and another linebacker, Kenny Onatula, were the only people to be ejected. But I don't see how you can blame the referees for this. Anytime you get involved in this kind of a scrap, you're putting your fate in their hands anyways. You can't blame them for seeing the helmet toss and the punch. Ed Hervey got suspended for a game a couple of years ago for doing the same kind of thing. Sean, your reaction?
And as well he should have, Elliot. And in this particular situation, it's another one of those things that really frustrates me, both as a player and just as an observer, because it's really dumb. There's a game going on within the game. It's a mental game, and I'm trying to get you off of yours. And if I can get into your head, get you to start taking swings at me, I've won that battle. In this particular case, AJ may have got the lineman on the ground, may have ripped his helmet off, but that guy won the battle because AJ's in the locker room right now while he goes back out to play.
For a vet like AJ to lose his head and just toss that helmet like that, to me, that's crazy. I mean, he's got to remain calm, but still, once someone starts throwing blows at you, you kind of lose it. And I still can't believe how Onatolo got thrown out, but you always have to remember, the zebras see everything. You can't get away with throwing a punch like that. They will catch you.
Greg?
Well, you know, absolutely unfortunate because they lost 2 very good players, but with Antico Dalton coming back in and Shannon Garrett coming to the Sam linebacker, you know what, they don't actually lose a lot defensively. We kind of were speaking to how much they were going to lose the momentum defensively. They should run against it, but you know what, they got some quality players in there right now.
Dave, you said they should run it.
Oh, they totally should. I mean, anytime you lose 2 great backers like that, you've got to start running the ball to find out just how good are the new backers in there.
And David, I think it's a matter of momentum and gelling. When you've got 2 new guys, it's probably going to take them a couple of plays just to get their feet, get used to the system, and if you run right then, you can break the heart of the defense.
Sean, keep in mind that Dalton, he was starting. Gass was hurt to go into the season. Dalton came in, he was the starting middle linebacker, and he's extremely versatile. He's played all over the place. Great football player.
The only one thing I would say about that, though, Greg, is for 2 years now, Edmonton's tried to knock out A.J. Gass earlier in the year.
He's a warrior.
And he keeps getting that job back because he deserves it and earns it. Henry Burris this morning at breakfast. David, your conversation with him and his play today.
I told Henry, I said, Henry, hold on to the ball. Put it away. When you start running with the ball, you got to lock it away. No more thinking you're going to pass the ball if you cross that line of scrimmage. Tuck it and get your body down and get ready to handle a hit. Look at him.
I mean, that's beautiful. That's what Henry is going out. He feels the pressure come around him. He puts the other hand on the ball, covers it up, and that is good Hank. That's Hank thinking about ball protection, making sure he doesn't do anything to cost his team.
And Sean, I was on the sideline after he did that quarterback sneak. He sits up. He's got this huge smile on his face as he's looking at me on the sideline. I'm saying, attaboy, Hank, hang on the ball.
That's a youth listening to his elders.
That's a good line. You know, it's so typical, though. Freres, as I said in the pregame show, here's Greg Freres. He comes out in the morning. The first thing he does when he sees Henry Burris at breakfast is, hey, Henry, you going to do a better job protecting the ball this week? Give the guy a break. Burris, though, it's interesting to say, guys, as we wrap up the panel here, that Tom Higgins' phrase to describe Henry Burris was decent in the first half. Back in the day next. Also, don't forget, as Jermaine Copeland celebrates his touchdown, Danny Machocha will talk about what he thought about the ejections.
Back in the day, a shift in time. Brought to you by Nissan, trucks and SUVs.
The City of Champions, a nickname earned not originally by excellence on the ice, but by greatness on the gridiron. From 78 to 82, they were, the Eskimos, the class of the CFL. 5 straight Grey Cup championships, not done before or since. Under Hugh Campbell, they had Hall of Famers everywhere. Tom Wilkinson at quarterback, followed later, of course, by Warren Moon. The stifling defense led by Dan Kepley, still a coach here, and Dr. Death, Dave Fennell, on the D-line. Dave Cutler, the reliable kicker. This team had an incredible winning percentage of .750. Don't forget, after the game, CBCSports.ca. It's our online live CFL on CBC postgame report. And if the second half is as interesting as the first, we'll have lots to talk about. It's a 2-point game. Calgary leads. Tyler Ebel, 79 yards total offense in the first half, and the touchdown that pulls Edmonton close.
Dan Kepley firing up the troops for this second half here at Commonwealth Stadium. Right now, let's go down the sidelines and join Brenda Irving with the head coach of the Eskimos, Danny Machocha.
Danny, first of all, your thoughts on the ejections?
Well, it's hard from field level. You don't get to see it a second or a third time like you do at home. There's no question that 64 pushed AJ, and I don't know whatever happened after the push. I don't know if there was any kicks thrown or punches thrown, but we just got to be stronger and just walk away from it. But, how do you blame the guys from coming to each other's defense? So, I mean, we just got to play better. We got to play the second half, and then we'll handle that other stuff during the course of the week.
How do you think those ejections are going to hurt you man-wise in this half?
Well, they're definitely going to hurt us. We got 2 linebackers that start for us, and now we have to substitute them with 2 others that didn't take the amount of reps or snaps that AJ and Kenny O took. So, but it's reality right now, and all we got to do is fight.
Thanks for this.
Thank you.
Well, there will be a lot of second guessing over that incident here at Commonwealth Stadium, but no second guessing about the way Ricky Ray and his counterpart Henry Burris performed in that opening half at the quarterback position for both teams.
No, fantastic job by both quarterbacks this game so far. They're making the reads, they're making the right throws. Ricky Ray has been under a lot of pressure, and he's still making the throws that he needs to make. And Henry Burris has been under a lot of external pressure, as Brenda said, and he was able to perform. And so I give my hat off to both of them, but there's still another half to go.
Bannister with the return for the Stampeders. Bannister still on his feet, crosses the 36-yard line, and is brought down. Let's check the stats from the first 2 quarters of play here at Commonwealth.
Over the first half stats, I mean, almost an equal game and almost equal stats. I mean, both of the offenses have run very efficiently. I like the fact that they're balanced. They're both using the rush to their advantage and using the pass with the play action both beautifully. On first downs, again, both equal. There's 1 turnover there with the fumble by Brett Ralph. But besides that, 2 pretty equally matched teams so far.
First and 10, Stampeders from their own 37. Burris has time, and he has a man open. He gets to his feet. Can he keep going? Nick Lewis, we saw him go to him early in the opening quarter, and he opens the 3rd quarter with a strike to Nick Lewis.
What a throw by Henry Burris. I mean, he put that on the line about 45 yards in the air. Nick Lewis just running a straight go route up the seam. Oh, beautiful pass. And I'm not all that sure that Nick Lewis was touched on that play. He might have been touched on the leg, but Henry Burris just rears back, makes a beautiful throw. Dive by the defensive back is not there. Great play to start the second half.
A 38-yard pickup for the Stampeders, now first and 10 from the Eskimos 35. Burris under pressure, gets away from the pressure, and then just dumps it off to Joffrey Reynolds. Samuels in to make the stop.
Henry Burris with the extra effort. I mean, the passing stats will show this. 14 for 16, 2 touchdowns. I mean, these are good stats for a game, let alone for a first half. You see 5 for 5, 4 for 5, 5 for 6. Tells me he's making good decisions out on the field and delivering the ball where he wants to deliver it.
Burris and the Stamps lose a yard. It's 2nd and 11 from the Eskimos 36. Opening series for the Stamps in this 3rd quarter. Burris finds Bo Richter, and Bo Richter brought down at the 32-yard line by Flowers. Good tackle on the part of Flowers, going low against a big man, Bo Richter.
Yeah, Flowers has played a big part in this game already. A young guy out there, so you know that the Calgary Stampeders are looking for him. They throw a ball out to Bo Richter. What you have to do in zone is come off of your man quickly, come out of your zone quickly, and make the tackle before Bo Richter has a chance to make a move, and that's exactly what Flowers does.
And that will bring Sandro DeAngelis onto the field for the Stampeders for the field goal attempt. I think if I'm Tom Higgins and the Stampeders, this might be exactly the way I wanted to start this second half of play. Get some points on the board. DeAngelis splits the uprights, and the Stampeders now with a 5-point lead on the Eskimos, 20-15. Welcome back to what has turned out to be a very beautiful early evening here at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. You're watching the CFL on CBC in high definition. The Eskimos have possession, 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. They trail by 5 following a Stampeder field goal on their first possession. Let's see if the Eskimos can answer. Ricky Ray finds Ebel. Ebel crosses the 45, gets to the 46-yard line before he's run out of bounds.
On this play, you see the field come into play. Anthony just misses him, but Ricky Ray also playing a very good game in the first half. 13 of 20, about the same yards as Henry Burris on the other side, with 1 TD at the end of the half. He's completed all the short passes, tried a couple of deep ones on one series, wasn't successful, but playing a very good game under a lot of pressure.
Ebel took a shot on that last play. 1st and 10 from the 45. This is Goldie McClendon. He could go. McClendon run out of play at the 27-28-yard line of the Stampeders. So if it's not Ebel, it's Goldie.
They have 2 very good backs on this Edmonton team. You see the nice little move inside. And again, talking to Machoche, says in wide open spaces, Ron McClendon is a very good running back. I mean, you look at last year. Last 3 games, 89 rushing yards, not so great, but last year, he ended off the year with a 200-yard game.
A 38-yard pickup, 1st and 10 from the 27. Ray over the middle. Kamal Peterson, touchdown.
Fantastic job by Kamal Peterson going over the middle. After the catch, he does the rest. He gets hit at about the 5-yard line and says, no, I'm not going down. Young, you can hang on me and everything, but I'm going to score this touchdown. Kamal Peterson makes a great play after a Ricky Ray throw.
All 12 of the Eskimos' touchdowns this season have come via the pass. And at this point, I don't think the Eskimos really care as Sean Fleming tries the point after. It is good. Last 4 drives for Edmonton, field goal, and a pair of touchdowns. 20 points total. They are now on top of the Stampeders, 22-20.
Again, good start by both teams in this second half, but better start by Edmonton Eskimos. Ricky Ray sees Brian Clark in man-to-man coverage. He knows he has man-to-man. What does he look for? What has he been looking for the whole game? The inside dig route, and he finds Kamal Peterson. Touchdown, Edmonton.
Stampeders opened with a field goal. Ricky Ray and the Eskimos come back with a scoring play of their own. It's a touchdown to that man, Kamal Peterson.
Got a ball game.
Let's take a look at that drive, and another good one from the Eskimos, who have had some offensive woes so far this season. Not this time.
It really is. It looks like they've kind of broken out of their shell, especially with this 2-back attack, starting with Ron McClendon going downfield, getting a big gain on that. Again, Ricky Ray finding Kamal Peterson doing the rest, holding on to the football, getting into the end zone.
All smiles on that side of the field right now.
Always happy when you score.
Fleming with the kickoff, following the TD. Howell battles his way up to the 35-yard line, where Henry Burris and company will take over. Ebel being checked out by the team doctors on the Edmonton bench. Don't forget, MLS soccer tomorrow on CBC television. The LA Galaxy at BMO Field in Toronto. Nigel Reed and Craig Forrest will have the call at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. The Galaxy and the Toronto FC. First and 10, Stampeders from the 35-yard line. Reynolds, no running room there. Botterill saw to that. Let's check the rushing chart of Joffrey Reynolds.
Yeah, despite that last rush, Joffrey Reynolds has had a very good game today. 6 rushes, 28 yards. Again, he hasn't been used all that much, and they've been using a lot of play action in this game instead of using Joffrey Reynolds. But when he has had the opportunity, I like the fact that he's running the ball hard over the middle and getting those yards that he needs to. 3 for 24 yards. Expect to see him more in the second half.
No gain on the last play. 2nd and 10. And that time, Burris over the middle looking for Bo Richter. Not close.
Again, it had to be miscommunication. Henry Burris is thinking he's going to go in, and Bo Richter decides to run the seam route. You never know on those plays who's right and who's wrong. Judging by Henry Burris's reaction, looks like he's probably going to go over and talk to Bo Richter, make sure that they're on the same page.
As a couple of former quarterbacks, no question, the receiver was in the fault there. I mean, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Right.
We're just trying to be nice, but yeah.
Well, the Stampeders could not answer the TD with a TD. Burkdale's on to punt for Calgary. And they fake it. And then they pass. Oh, what a play! That is right out of high school, folks, and that one worked. Lysak, but flags are down. Craig Dickinson pulling another one out of his hip pocket.
Craig Dickinson, he has a mind for special teams. And like Coach Higgins said, they have fakes on all the time. They're just looking for the right looks from the defense. They got the right look. They kept the fake on. It worked, but it may be coming back.
I think you're right.
And you say right out of high school, it's funny because that's the last time Brian Clark played quarterback was high school.
Ken Lazaruk has been a busy man this afternoon here at Commonwealth Stadium. Greg Ferris, what have you got?
Well, Stephen Kahari, what's impressive about this fake is where they decided to do a fake on the field. Deep in your zone is not where you typically are expecting a team to run a fake. So, you know what, definitely a real confidence booster if it can stand, needing an emotional lift for the Calgary Stampeders at this time in the game.
And Greg, you know what? Higgins is one of those coaches that it doesn't matter where he is on the field. You've seen it when he was coaching for Edmonton in the playoffs. He will run a fake anywhere.
Holding Calgary, number 33, be 4 yards gained. It's a 10-yard penalty from point of last scrimmage. Third down, repeated.
Trey Young nullifies that piece of brilliance from Craig Dickinson, and it comes all the way back to the 25-yard line. And this time, I don't think the fake will be on.
Now that would be a really bold move. He kept the fake on still.
And not the best of punts from Burke Dales. Woodcock at the 40. Does well to elude the first tackle. Crosses the 47-yard line. Edmonton up by 2. 9:21 play. Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. Tyler Ebel has been a force in this game for the Eskimos. 8 carries to 59 yards, but it may have ended.
Yeah, and you see it on this play. Anthony comes and makes the tackle, but hits him over the shoulder. Looks like it's some type of shoulder, neck injury maybe. That's the fortunate thing about having 2 feature backs on this Edmonton team is that when Ebel goes down, McClendon comes in and you don't miss a beat.
Eskimos first and 10. Ray brought down at the 35-yard line.
Looks like George gets in there untouched. It's not too often that a defensive lineman, he is actually touched. Les Rude has him, but he just slips the block. It makes a fantastic play to start this series. That might stop the momentum a little bit for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Tay George with the big sack for the Stampeders. 2nd and 21 Edmonton from their own 37. Goldie McLennan. And he's dropped at the 40-yard line by Carpenter. Brenda Irving, what have you got?
Well, Steve just spoke with the Stampeders training staff, and Pat Clayton says they've lost 2 starting D linemen for the game. Anthony Gargiulio and Karan Williams both out with suspected knee injuries. So tough news for the Stampeders with a half of football still to go.
Thanks, Brenda. Both defenses taking a hammering here at Commonwealth Stadium. The Eskimos with a couple of disqualifications, and now the Stamps with injuries. 3rd and 17 for Edmonton. Marcus Howell back to get this punt from Sean Fleming. Flag is down. Howell just inside the 25. Howell still on his feet. And then brought down just across the 25-yard line. So once again, it won't be bad field position for Henry Burris and the Stampeders offense, depending on this call.
Definitely, but there's a flag down at the line of scrimmage, which usually means holding by the offensive side of the ball, but they're talking to the Edmonton Eskimos, so it may be on Calgary Stampeders.
Offside, Calgary, number 7, decline. First down.
So the Stampeders will start from their own 26-yard line, trailing by 2 points. .752 to play, third quarter. Burris from the shotgun. Good play fake to Joffrey Reynolds, and that buys Henry Burris 4 or 5 yards, and then Burris taken down into the advertising boards, and that gets a rise out of the crowd.
Oh yeah, whenever a quarterback gets hit, you know the crowd is going to look at it a little bit. This has been a staple play for the Calgary Stampeders. They run this fake. You can either hand it off or give the play action. Henry decides to do the play action and run with it. Picks up 6 yards.
And that ball was tossed into the crowd by Henry. That's $100.
He can afford it.
Burris with the pump fake. Buys time. Burris still on his feet. And it'll be interesting to see where they spot this one. Shabazz and Botterill bringing Burris down on that play.
Henry Burris very close to the first down. Again, as soon as he gets into that open field, first thing he has to be thinking about is ball control. He's had a few fumbles this year. He gets it outside of him and then gets it close to his body, holds on to the ball. Looks like it's a first down for Calgary.
It is indeed a 1st and 10 situation for the Stampeders from their own 36-yard line. Burris going deep. Got it open. What a catch. Nick Lewis.
Nick Lewis. Same route that they threw before. Instead of throwing it on the line this time, Henry Burris decides to put some air on it. And Nick Lewis says, I can catch it any way you throw it. If it's around my vicinity, I am going to come up with the ball. You see Nick Lewis tracking it the whole way, gets his hands up under it. Beautiful catch by Nick Lewis.
3 catches for 95 yards. Remember, this is the guy that 2 games ago was benched by Tom Higgins. Came back, had a great game against the BC Lions and a losing effort by the Stampeders, and has been strong again here for Calgary in Edmonton.
He really has.
Can't run out yet.
Looks like the challenge flag was thrown up by Coach Machocha, wanted to make sure. And
Edmonton is questioning the ruling on whether the ball was caught.
Not a bad challenge from Danny Machocha.
No, I don't think it's bad at all, but I definitely, from watching the replay and just seeing it in fast motion, I think he did have his hands up under it, but you see different things on replay.
Remember, bang, bang.
There, he gets his hands up under. He keeps the hands up under the ball, and he has control of it the whole way. Looks pretty cut and dry to me, but when the referees get under the
whoa, from that angle, I'm not so sure. From the other angle, it looked like he had control.
It did. It did. I think the ball tips up early on. Oh, it's not as cut and dry as we think, is it?
That's going to be a tough call for Ken Lazaruk as he goes under the hood. A challenge from Danny Machocha on that strike.
I mean,
from Henry to Nick.
Looking at it here, I don't think it is conclusive that he didn't have control of that football. I think he started with it, he hit the ground, still had control when he came up. My opinion, I think it's going to be hard to overturn this. But I've been wrong before.
When?
Once. Oh, you can ask my wife. I've been wrong.
Here's the call from Ken Lazaruk.
After reviewing the play, there is no indisputable visual evidence that the ball was not caught. Ruling on the field stands, caught ball.
In 2 words, not conclusive.
Not conclusive. You're exactly right. And just for the effort alone, I feel like Nick Lewis deserves that catch.
It's a 40-yard gain for the Stampeders, who are now 1st and 10 at the Eskimos' 34. Burris buys time, rolls right, flag down. Burris has Brett Ralph open. Ralph still on his feet and knocked out of play at the 12-yard line.
Burris is doing everything you can ask a quarterback to do right now. He starts off this series running the football, using his legs.
That's going to be holding against the Stampeders.
Legal block, hands to the face, Calgary, number 62, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Holding, illegal block, does the same amount of damage.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you call it. It's going backwards instead of forwards. And with Calgary right now, they want to be moving forward. The offense is running on all cylinders. Don't do anything to make the team go backwards.
They spot the ball at the 44-yard line of the Eskimos. The Stamps are 1st and 20. Burris out of the shotgun. 3 receivers wide right. And Burris guns it to Bo Richter. Dalton and LaRose bring the big receiver down. That was vintage gun from Burris.
Yes, it was. I mean, Henry Burris is showing everything in his arsenal right now. He's showing that he can throw the deep ball on a line with air. He throws it in the pocket where a linebacker and defensive back kind of meet up with Bo Richter. He's doing everything you need him to do, and Bo Richter looks like he's coming off the field hurt a little bit.
A gain of 13. It's 2nd and 7 Calgary. From the Edmonton 31. Cote is into the game for the Stampeders. Burris again with a strike and finds Copeland.
You see Henry Burris playing with a lot of confidence right now. When you're playing with confidence, it doesn't matter if you start out 1st and 20, 1st and 25, because you know that you can complete every ball. Starting off the game 14 for 16, and then coming into the second half and still having a lot of success, you just build on that and build on that, and now Henry feels like he can do anything. Cortez probably sees that and wants to maximize his abilities right now in the game.
Obviously, Cortez and Burris on the same page in this one. Stamps 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line of Edmonton. Burris with another strike, and it was in and out of the arms of Ryan Thelwell. Garrett did a good job defending on the play for the Eskimos.
That was a veteran job of covering on Thelwell. I thought Henry Burris made a very good throw. What we call this as quarterbacks is throwing on your back shoulder. When a guy is man-to-man and it looks like he has good coverage, what you want to do is hit the receiver's back shoulder. So Henry was going for his back shoulder. It might have been a little in front of him, but Garrett does a great job.
Bo Richter back in. 2nd and 10 Stampeders from the 18. 4 receivers wide left. Burris under pressure and brought down at the 25-yard line. Botterill for the Eskimos.
And Botterill shouldn't even be in this game because of A.J. Gass, because of, I'm going to say his name wrong, Onatalu. Botterill wouldn't even be playing in this game, but he is making a difference. Uses his quickness against the offensive line of the Calgary Stampeders and gets in there on Henry Burris.
Considering the 2 players on defense thrown out, Edmonton has responded well. A field goal attempt from Sandro DeAngelis coming from the 32-yard line to put the Stampeders back on top. It's wide, but Edmonton concede the single point. It is now Edmonton leading by 1.
This telecast is copyrighted by the CFL and licensed exclusively to CBC, and any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game is prohibited.
Edmonton up by a single point on a missed field goal from Sandro DeAngelis of the Stampeders. Edmonton take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. Ricky Ray out of the shotgun. Under pressure. Dumps it off to Goldie McLennan, who's going to see a fair amount of action simply because Tyler Ebel, who started the game at the running back position, is out with what appeared to be a shoulder or neck problem.
Definitely, and you like to have a backup that has the abilities that Goldie has. I mean, he is a guy who started games before. He knows how to make the first person miss, same as Ebel. And I think you're on this series, you're going to see the Calgary Stampeders defense try to do a few things differently because they have had the ball moved on them in this second half.
2nd and 6, Edmonton. And Ricky Ray again losing his footing on the natural turf here at Commonwealth Stadium, and he went down heavy.
Yes, he did, and there was 2 plays, 2 linebacker blitzes on both of those plays. And it looks like he had a D lineman kind of fall on his legs there. You hope Ricky Ray's okay.
Decline. 3rd down.
And you have Ricky Ray lined up. Defensive lineman gets off on a great start. Ricky Ray slips to the ground. Patrick falls on his legs, and that's going to get LaForce up and throwing the ball just in case.
Well, we've seen all 3 quarterbacks in action for the Eskimos, albeit limited playing time for LaForce and Giles. Sean Fleming will get the punt away from his own 5-yard line. Not one of his better ones.
Looks like he got a piece of that. Was out of bounds, but I think Anthony got a piece of that ball.
How much of the Eskimos missing AJ, Gass, and Anatola on special teams?
Oh, they're missing him a great deal. I know AJ Gass is one of the leaders on special teams as well.
Legal kickoff, punt out of bounds. Edmonton, number 11, declined. 1st down, Calgary.
It's very interesting on that play because, again, I thought that play was blocked a little bit, so I don't know if that would be an illegal kick.
Last 2 possessions, 2 and out for the Eskimos, and that gives the Stampeders excellent field position. They're 1st and 10 from the Edmonton 43. Burris again with that gun, finding Ryan Thelwell, who was on a crossing pattern, and he's brought down at the 30.
We just saw the Calgary Stampeders defense do a few different things, try blitzing. I think the Edmonton Eskimos are going to have to do the same thing to stop Calgary's offense right now because they are running on all cylinders. You see Henry Burris, he has time. He's hitting all his receivers. Thelwell has had the ball a few times. Brent Ralph, Copeland, all of these guys. Nick Lewis, everyone is involved.
Burris good on 21 of 25 passes for 274 yards and 2 touchdowns. Flags go down before they can get that play off.
Looks like a problem with the count on this one. I don't know if it was. There's a lot of people that went off, so maybe it was the center not hiking the ball.
Procedure, Calgary, number 68 and number 64. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Well, that's Jeff Pilon and Rob Blasio charged with illegal procedures, so the Stampeders lose 5. They're now 1st and 15 from the Eskimos 35. Burris looking to the right side for Thelwell, in and out of the arms of Ryan Thelwell. Morgan covering on the play.
Omar Morgan has very good coverage on this play. He's a veteran in this league, playing for Saskatchewan for a number of years. But Henry Burris gives his guy and his guy alone the only chance of catching this football. And that's what you want to see out of your quarterback. If the ball is missed, it's not an interception, it's just an incompletion. Thelwell tries to make the athletic catch on that play, and it looks like he may have suffered an injury because of it.
Well, he's been in and out of the lineup with a hamstring injury this season. Pat Clayton and the training staff have run a couple of miles this afternoon to pull Stampeders off the field. And this is the latest injury to Ryan Thelwell.
Yeah, and I think what happened on this play is that when he was falling down, Omar Morgan was going for the ball also and landed on his shoulders. And so that's why you see him holding on to the shoulders. It could be a case where he's just out of breath also, because he did land right down on him.
And Marcus Howell will come in to replace Thelwell. He'll have to go out for 3 plays. Howell only has 1 catch on the year for the Stamps. Greg Frères.
Well, the Edmonton Eskimos probably play man-to-man coverage more than any other team in the CFL. Talking to quarterback Henry Burst this morning, I said, which matchup do you like? And he pointed at Stanford Samuels, which really surprised me. He wants to get Jermaine Copeland on Stanford Samuels in man-to-man coverage. He feels that he will bite on the first move. So look for a double move by Copeland if they get that matchup.
Yeah, and I think we saw that also in with the touchdown that Henry Burst threw to Copeland. And Samuels was on him one-on-one coverage, and like you said, Henry likes it.
2nd and 15, Calgary from the Edmonton 35. 3 receivers wide left of the double tight. Time for Burris. Burris puts it up, looking for Bo Richter, and it's incomplete. Flag is down, and it looks like it'll be against the Stamps.
Again, a lot of pressure on Henry Burris, and the only way that Stampeders line is stopping this pressure is by holding, heading hands to the face. Again, with the offense running on all cylinders, you cannot go backwards.
Holding. Calgary, number 45, declined. 3rd down.
They're taking their turns holding. This time it's the fullback. Mission gets a hold of him on the outside of his jersey. Usually the referees will let it go if you're on the inside, but once you put those hands on the outside of a jersey, they'll call it every time.
And that's a matchup that George Cortez wants out of that double tight. He wants to get Bo Richter open.
Exactly right. Man-to-man coverage, that's what you look for. Henry Burris just misses the throw.
DeAngelis from the 43-yard line. And this time he is good, and the Stampeders have regained the lead over the Eskimos here at Commonwealth Stadium. 24-22. That time DeAngelis not missing.
This is a very tight ball game. Tom Higgins, he loves his special teams. You know, in a tight ball game, it can always come down to the special teams, as we see Ricky Ray come back onto the field.
Good news for Eskimo fans. They didn't have to go to their backup, LaFours or Giles. Ricky Ray, 1st and 10 from the 35. Oh, and McLennan was taken around the helmet and dropped by George. 3rd quarter is over. Calgary in front by 2. A tough physical battle here at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. The visiting Stampeders in front by 2. This has been, as I say, a very physical game. You wonder if these teams are going to have anything left, because the Stampeders play Montreal on Thursday. The Eskimos are at home to an all of a sudden improved, not so tame Ticats team next Saturday, and we'll have that one for you, the CFL on CBC. And under pressure from Chevrier, Ricky Ray dropped for a big loss.
That is 2 series in a row where on 2nd down, Calgary Stampeders defense are finding ways to get to Ricky Ray. This time it's Randy Chevrier getting through the middle. Ricky Ray doesn't even have time to set his feet before he is hit by Chevrier.
And whatever offensive momentum the Eskimos had in that second quarter, they've lost. Third straight 2 and out.
Definitely. In this game, especially in the fourth quarter, it's going to come down to who's going to make the right defensive adjustments. Calgary has already made them. We have to see what Edmonton has in store.
Sean Fleming needs a good one here. Good punt. Marcus Howell at the 40, 45, 50. He's got room. Marcus Howell knocked out a play at about the 47-yard line. Let's check the stats through 3 quarters.
Through 3 quarters, it looks almost the same. Calgary Stampeders have widened the gap a little bit on passing yards. Henry Burris is just in a rhythm this game. He's finding all of his receivers, and Nick Lewis has been the recipient of a couple of big plays.
How much do the Eskimos miss Tyler Ebell? Out of the game with a shoulder or neck injury, not sure at this point. It is 1st and 10 Calgary from the Edmonton 46. Jeffrey Reynolds, he's got room. He could go. Jeffrey Reynolds, touchdown, Stampeders.
This is what you call sticking with what got you there. Calgary Stampeders from the beginning of the game have been using this play effectively. This time, instead of Henry Burris keeping the ball, he decides to hand it off, and Joffrey Reynolds does the rest, runs away from everybody. Like I said before, Joffrey Reynolds is one of those guys that gets better as the game goes along. You run him, you run him, you run him, and then he breaks a big one, just like he did there.
Last 2 possessions, a field goal and a touchdown for the Calgary Stampeders. Now have the lead on the Eskimos, 13:43 to play, 4th quarter. Yesterday, Raheem Abdullah of the Eskimos called that man, Joffrey Reynolds, the best running back in the CFL. I think he just showed us why.
Yes, he did. I mean, he's one of those guys at the beginning of this year, he hasn't got a lot of carries, so he hasn't got a chance to showcase what he can do. But you see in this game, you use him in the 4th quarter, you will get results.
And the Stamps going for the short kickoff. They've got people over there, but not close enough to the ball. Good heads-up play by the Eskimos. Jean-Louis able to come up with it for Edmonton.
Go back to the touchdown play again, the same play that they've been using all day, but they get into the 2nd level. Joffrey Reynolds has great blocking up front, gets to the 2nd level. After that, he does the rest. Edmonton Eskimos have the linebackers on the line, and you see Rick Campbell right here, not a happy man.
Well, he's missing his middle linebacker, A.J. Gass, and that cost him on that last touchdown from the Stampeders. Ricky Ray completes the pass to Kamal Peterson. He gets up to the 40-yard line. You get the feeling that Edmonton have to answer this time, this series, with a touchdown.
They definitely do. I think they at least need to get some points on the board on this series. You want to make it always a 1-score game. And you see Henry Burris is on a roll this game. 276 passing yards, and Reynolds is really taking the pressure off of Henry Burris by being able to be a big part of the run game.
2nd and 3. And Ricky Ray was looking for McClendon, almost picked off by Brian Clark. Super coverage from Clark.
That's what Denny Crehan asks of his linebackers on this team. Sometimes you're playing a defensive end, sometimes you're playing a defensive back, and he does a great imitation of a defensive back here with putting the right hand up, which is the left hand for him, knocking the ball out and making sure that they don't get the first down. Great job by Brian Clark.
4th straight 2 and out for the Eskimos, who are forced to punt. Fleming. Oh, great punt. High spiral. Howell at the 20. looking for a block. Gets up to the 25-yard line where Henry Burris and the Stampeders will scrimmage 1st and 10, leading 31-22. Wearing the mic for us tonight here in Edmonton, the Eskimos' Raheem Abdullah.
Mic'd Up, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's most reliable wireless network.
Oh, there we go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Win first down. Water. All right. Step up and challenge, and then let's go win this football game. All right. You call me hit him. Hold it. Thank you. Good. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it.
Raheem Abdullah, pretty good impersonation of Ken Lazarus.
Yes, he did.
1st and 10, Stampeders from their own 24. Burris. Swing pass to Joffrey Reynolds. Reynolds crosses the 35-yard line. He'll have the first down. Shabazz over to make the tackle. Brenda Irving, what have you got in terms of injury update?
Well, Steve, we'll have to keep our eye on Calgary receiver Mark Boerichter. Pat Clayton, the athletic trainer, was working on his right knee. Seems to be in some discomfort, but obviously he's good enough to play right now anyway. And to confirm the situation with Edmonton running back Tyler Ebell, it is his shoulder. He'll be out the rest of the game.
Tough news for the Edmonton Eskimos. 1st and 10, Stampeders. Nice. Over the middle and looking for Ryan Thelwell, and again Thelwell unable to hang on, and that was in his hands.
That was a great throw by Henry Burris. He put it right where he needed to put it. Omar Morgan, it looked like he might have got a hand in there, but Thelwell needs to come up with that kind of play. Those were the kind of inconsistencies that the Calgary Stampeders talked about early in the year from their receiving corps.
2nd and 10, Stampeders from their own 36-yard line. Burris looking for Nick Lewis, and that time Lewis unable to come up with the grab. That was a little short on the part of Henry. And Lewis may have been guilty of the offside.
Yep, and those receivers get a...
Offside, Calgary, number 82, decline. 3rd down.
Called jumping the gun.
Yep, receivers get excited when they know the ball is coming to them. And I think Nick Lewis got a little too excited on that play and probably threw the timing off a little bit too. Henry had to throw the ball a little faster than what he anticipated.
Calgary in a punting situation. Burgdales. Woodcock. And that goes off the side of Dale's foot. Woodcock covers it at the 40-yard line, and a flag goes down. When we come back, we'll figure out what caused the flag. No yards on the punt. The Eskimos take over. Henry Burris get break. Ricky Ray goes back to work. 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Time for Ray. He's going deep. He was looking for Kamal Peterson, but it was overthrown.
That was
Peterson, I think, had a step.
He did have a step, and that was on Ricky Ray. I mean, he saw the blitz again. Calgary Stampeders have been using the blitz in the second half. Edmonton does a great job of picking the blitz up, giving him an opportunity to throw that ball. He just puts a little too much on it. Then you have 2nd and 10, a place that Edmonton doesn't want to be.
In the second half, Ricky Ray has been good on 5 of 7 pass attempts, but only 52 yards. 2nd and 10, Edmonton. Ray puts it up, and it's complete, but flags go down. He found Gaylor. How Gaylor made that catch, I'll never know. He was down on his knees.
That was a beautiful throw by Ricky Ray with another defensive lineman in his face. He finds a way, throws it a little sidearm even on that play. Trevor Gaylor turns around and says, hey, look what I found. Pass interference to boot. Again, Ricky Ray goes back. Calgary is using the blitz again, gets a guy in his face. Trevor Gaylor picks that one off the ground, catches it about 3 or 4 times. It only counts as 1 catch.
Pass interference, Calgary number 19, That penalty is declined. Major foul, roughing the passer. Calgary number 8, 15-yard penalty added on to the end of the play. First down.
Remember now, on roughing the passer, it's not a step, it's not 2 steps. It's all about the referees think you can hold up. That time the hands go to the helmet. Referees don't want you touching any part of the helmet. That's where they get the call from. It's not necessarily a late hit.
Challenging the completion of the pass.
Well, Tom Higgins has obviously been in touch with his booth, and they're telling him that that's a challengeable catch.
Yep, they're going to look at this catch again. I don't think it'll be much time under the I don't think there'll be much time looking at this play. Looks like initially he gets his hands under the ball, picks it up, catches it a few times, and then reaches out.
The key is control. Does he have control?
I feel like he did. He had control, especially after he got it that second or third time it bobbled, and then he lunges forward to get the extra yards. He doesn't have control there, doesn't have it there. Gets it right there, gets the control, then lunges forward with the ball, pushes it forward.
Well, it'll be interesting. Again, the has to be conclusive.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I don't know if they'll call it not having control because he reaches the ball out. When he reaches the ball out, then it touches the ground. So maybe they're going to say that that was when he lost control of the ball. But I feel like he did have the control necessary for it to be a catch.
Tom Higgins on the right, trying to change a losing trend for the Stampeders. 3-7 in their last 10 games. Let's take a look at it in real speed. Maybe that'll solve the puzzle.
All right. Yeah, hands under. Again, I call it a catch. But I don't have the stripes on, so.
Upon review, the ball did hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass. We'll take the roughing the passing 15-yard penalty from point of last scrimmage, up 15 yards, and a first down for Edmonton.
Well, Tom Higgins won the challenge.
Unless they're talking about where it hit the ground at the end of the play.
What number? Upon discussion on the play, there is a pass interference call. We'll go to the point of foul, pass interference against Calgary number 19. Also, major foul, roughing the passer, Calgary number 8. 15-yard penalty from the point of foul, first down.
I wonder if Ken Lazarick gets paid by the word today. He's talked more than we have.
That is fantastic. I mean, they challenge. Calgary Stampeders challenge. They win the challenge, but there's pass interference anyway, so the ball stays in the same place.
And all of that equals 1st and 10 Edmonton from the Stampeders' 36-yard line. 9:57 to play. Clock is running. Calgary lead 31-22. Ricky Ray tries to screen to McLennan, and McLennan brought down inside the 25-yard line. All the action was on the far side, the left-hand side, and Ricky Ray went back to the right side and dumped it off to Goldie McLennan.
Definitely, and you see here with Goldie McLennan, he wants to give a look like he's blocking, lose himself within the line of scrimmage, which he does a great job of. Ricky Ray finds him for the completion, and then McLennan does the rest. Very good runner in open space.
A gain of 12, 1st and 10 Edmonton from the Stampeders' 23-yard line. Ray has time, he's going deep, touchdown, Kamal Peterson.
Kamau adjusts to it, catches it. Tell how much it rained today, and then he gives the pose to the camera. Great job by Kamau Peterson.
His second TD pass of the game. Fleming is good on the point after. It is now 31-29 Calgary.
I'll take it.
Looks like the Edmonton Eskimos are going to work on Trey Young and the Stampeders.
Oh, yeah, and Trey Young is a safety, but because the Calgary Stampeders have come out and blitz in the second half, he has to play man-to-man coverage, and that's not usually free safety's forte. So he plays man-to-man on Kamau Peterson, and Kamau makes him pay.
And he's getting the phone call he didn't want to get.
No, you hate that call.
Marcus Howell tries to go outside, but he's tripped up before he gets to the 30-yard line. Don't forget Rogers Cup tennis from Montreal next weekend on CBC. Peter Burwash and Bruce Rainey will call the play. Semifinals at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. The final is set for Sunday at 2 Eastern. That's Rogers Cup tennis from Montreal. Some of the best players in the world will be in action. Calgary with a 31-29 lead. 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. They're going to play it conservatively. Joffrey Reynolds, Braidwood there to make the tackle.
This is a great game. Just when you think one team has the edge, Edmonton goes and steals the momentum from Calgary. Now it's up to Calgary's offense in turn to try to steal that momentum back. But Braidwood is saying, nope, I am not going to be blocked in the second half. Singh is supposed to have the block, but Braidwood sheds it, makes the play on Reynolds.
They lose a yard on the play. 2nd and 11 Stampeders from their own 27. This time Burris out of the shotgun. Lots of time. Goes over the middle. Incomplete. Good coverage on the part of the Eskimos. He was looking for Nick Lewis. Shabazz deep on the drop. Good coverage.
Yeah, Sadiq Shabazz makes a great play there. He's playing linebacker position, but drops back deep. Make sure to cover that dig route that Nick Lewis has. Henry Burris has Reynolds open early, but he wants the first down, so he's looking downfield. Looks just a little too far downfield because it looked like he had Copeland underneath.
So that will bring on Burke Dales to punt to Mr. Woodcock. A lone returner standing at his own 40-yard line. There he is. Dales will get the punt away from the 20. Woodcock lets it bounce. Picks it up at the 45. It's across the 50. Still on his feet. Comes up just shy of the 55-yard line. And don't forget, Warrior of the Game. Log on to cbcsports.ca in the second half to vote for the player who you think showed the heart and determination of a warrior. Is it Henry Burris? We'll show you the winner in the post-game show. Kamau Peterson, perhaps?
Oh, yeah, he's got to get some votes for the pose alone.
That was one of the better ones I've seen after the reception in the end zone. It was almost like we set that one up.
I know, right in front of the camera. It was beautiful.
1st and 10 Eskimos. Ray over the middle. Complete to Peterson. He's down to the 50-yard line of the Stampeders. Anthony makes the stop.
You see a little switch now with the Stampeders defense. They started off the first few series blitzing. Now they sit back. Ricky Reyes. Reed's defense is great. He sees that they're dropping 8 guys and says, oh, I'll take the underneath and go 2nd and short.
2nd and 3 Eskimos. A mix-up, but McClendon finishes that play and gives the Eskimos first down. He was either too close to Ricky Ray vice versa.
Yeah, that looked like there was a mix-up back there, and that's what happens when you don't take all the reps during the week. And maybe McClendon just saw something in the middle. He knew he needed 3 yards and said, hey, instead of breaking this to the outside, I'm going to go north-south and make sure that I get this first down and keep the ball for my team.
Mix-up or no, they get the first down, which is important, keeps the drive alive. 1st and 10 Eskimos from the Stampeders 47. 5:39 to play. Ray over the middle to Gaylor. We haven't said his name too many times this afternoon.
No, Kamal Peterson and Acree have been getting the bulk of the ball so far. And you see Gaylor coming across the middle, big target for Ricky. Ricky gets him the ball, but Anthony does a fantastic job at not allowing him to make a move upfield and keeping it to a short game.
2nd down situation for the Eskimos from the 43-yard line of the Stampeders.
Hey, you. Here comes!
Ricky Ray in and out of the arms of the intended receiver, Acree. But there is a flag down in the Eskimos' backfield.
And you have another roughing the passer call.
Tay George.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Calgary number 93, 15-yard penalty. First down.
Again, it's not because of the lateness of the hit. It just looks like, Tay George. And I don't like this call, really. I think Tay George just comes in. He goes for the hit on Ricky Ray, and I don't know what they're calling that on, really, unless they think his hand hit his helmet.
Well, what it means is 1st and 10 Eskimos from the Stampeders 28 now. Ricky Ray with time. Finds his man. Gaylor again.
And that penalty can really come back to haunt the Stampeders. We're going to take a look at this again. And George gets through the line. He sees him. He still has the ball. And his hand does swipe his helmet. And it is so tough now for defensive linemen. And I mean, this is coming from a quarterback. But you're coming up. You put your hand up trying to get a block on the ball. And to have that called on you is tough.
Ricky Ray now good on 23 of 33 passes for 263 yards, 3 TDs and no interceptions. Ricky Ray slips and he's down. Cornelius Anthony, the man in the right place at the right time to put the tag on Ray when he went down.
Yeah, and Ricky Ray again, he's slipping on that back foot. The back foot for a quarterback is so important because it's the plant foot. You see him try to plant and step up. With the grass, with the rain that's happened today, he's not able to plant on that foot. This isn't the first time this happened today. Sees Anthony, tries to make that quick move, and Anthony again falls on his legs.
Ricky Ray stays in. 2nd and 18 Edmonton from the Stampeders 26. Ray over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Acree. Acree couldn't hang on. 31-29, 3 minutes to play, 4th quarter. Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton in what has been a very entertaining football game. A.J. Gass and Kenny Onatolu were tossed out of the game back in the first half, and we thought that might be the end of the Eskimos, but their defense has rallied and played well, minus A.J. Gass in the middle of that picture, their middle linebacker. Now Sean Fleming will attempt a 32-yard field goal from the right hash marks to give Edmonton the lead. It is good, but a flag is down.
Looks like they ran into the kicker on this play. If it's not an automatic first down, I feel like Edmonton will keep the points on the board.
Ken Lazaruk
So,
explaining the options to the Eskimos, here's the call.
Major foul, roughing the kicker, Calgary, number 27, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So we go back to 31-29 thanks to this.
Brandon Browner coming in, trying to make a big play, barely touches Fleming and gets the roughing call. Not running into the kicker, which would have been just 10 yards, and they would have probably kept the points on the board, but he gets a roughing call on that.
And I think I can understand why Tom Higgins is a little upset at that one.
2 calls in that series, I feel like, in this series that is still going on. Very tough calls to take for Tom Higgins.
Big part of the story today, difference in penalties. 176 yards for the Stampeders. 1st and 10 Eskimos from the Stampeders' 13-yard line. Ricky Ray under pressure, gets the pass away, finds Gaylor. Touchdown Edmonton!
Plastic man after this play. I mean, look at Ricky Ray first does an outstanding job getting the ball out to Gaylor. And then Gaylor, who should have been down at about the 5-yard line, jumps into the end zone. And I think you may see a yellow flag on this. It looked like his knee might have been down before he was in the end zone. But great effort by Gaylor.
There's been a challenge in the play from the press box.
Press box is definitely right to stop this play. Went down on a knee at about the 3-yard line. I think this one will be easy for the refs to see.
Well, inside the red zone last week in that humiliating loss to Regina, to the Rough Riders, the Eskimos could do nothing. But here, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. Ebel and Taylor, and a field goal inside the red zone.
And that's what you need to do to be a successful team in this league. When you have the ball, when you have the field position, when you're inside the 20, you have to make a team pay. Again, we see Gaylor making the moves, puts the knee down, then reaches out. But it's interesting, does he get touched? Yes, he was touched while his knee was down on the ground.
And that's the key there.
That is the key, because you can have a knee down, and if you're not touched, and if you do it on your own, then he would still be able to dive in. But it looked like the defender had his hand on him when his knee was on the ground. Therefore, the ball should be at about the 3-yard line. And you heard some of the Edmonton Eskimos saying, stop showing it on the big board. They wanted the touchdown.
It's under review, a press box decision.
Hey, you know what though? Hey, you know what though? We had action on both sides. You know what though? You know what? I was sick of him coming through that fucking bus, dog, so I gotta.
Upon review, the receiver's knee was down on the ground. The ball will be spotted at the 2.5-yard line. We'll take a look to see if it's a first down.
Well, the touchdown may not count, but Edmonton still have possession, and they are knocking on the door. They trail 31-29, 2:33 to play. So Browner gets a bit of a break. Edmonton has to do it again.
Like I said, 2 tough penalties in this series so far. I mean, George gets the penalty for the roughing the passer, and then you have Browner on roughing the kicker. A lot of rough stuff in this game.
And Stefan LaForge has come in to quarterback the Eskimos.
This Edmonton team has specialists as quarterbacks. He's the short yardage specialist.
Now we did see Stephen Giles.
He's the short yardage specialist. So
Edmonton with another chance to put it in the end zone. First and goal from the 3. LaForce keeps it. No indication yet of a touchdown from the officials. The Eskimos indicating it was in. It crossed the line, broke the plane, but nothing yet from the officials.
And that's a big quarterback sneak from 2.5 yards out. Usually you do that with 1 yard to go. With LaForce, they decide to do it with 2.5 yards, and you see him in there. He almost breaks that yellow line. All he has to do is get to that yellow line. Not quite.
Second and goal to go from the 1 yard line. Set up by that play. And LaForce stays in. LaForce keeps, and he goes nowhere. Great stand by the Stampeders. LaForce knocked back to the 5 yard line.
Fantastic job by the front line on that play to stand LaForce up. LaForce tries to find a hole. He finds nothing. And you see Chevrier on the bottom of that pile, making sure that LaForce cannot pump his legs. You'll see Chevrier come in right down here, make sure that LaForce is down. Once LaForce has to look to the outside, Brandon Browner cleans up the play.
And LaForce is out. Ricky Ray is in. Third and goal from the 2 yard line for the Eskimos. Trailing 31-29. Clock is running.
I think they're going to call a timeout with not a lot of time remaining and really decide if they want to go for the 7 points or just go for the lead with 3 points.
Well, what do you do, Coach? They're going to move it back on this time count violation, which will give Sean Fleming perhaps a better angle, a better shot at this field goal.
But you know what? I think Calgary is going to counteract that by declining the penalty and saying, hey, we don't want the penalty. We want this tough angle for you. And you're going to have to make it from about 9 yards out.
It should be a chip shot for Fleming. The only problem is he's that close, so he's got to get it up as quickly as possible. It shouldn't be a problem. A chance for the Eskimos to take the lead. Sean Fleming with a field goal attempt from the 9. It's up and it's good. Edmonton back on top by 1, 32-31. Welcome back to Edmonton. $1:38 to play. 32-31 favor the Eskimos. The Stamps have possession. Burris out of the shotgun. Gets it away. Finds Brett Ralph, and Ralph is knocked back after making the catch. Let's take a look at Harry's game notes.
All right, we go to the game notes in Calgary. On offense, Hank or Frank, definitely Hank today. 287 yards passing and 2 TDs, no turnovers. All backers to the front. Backers have played fantastic football. 4 sacks, but the 3 TD passes allowed has hurt them.
2nd and 8, Calgary. A pump fake, buys Burris some time, and he slides with the first down. Now let's take a look at the Eskimo game notes. How accurate were you here?
Hey, for Edmonton on offense, time to ring Ebel. They did ring him, and he got 89 yards, but he went down with an injury. McClendon filled in nicely. On defense, step on the gas. You can't step on the gas if he's not on the field.
The illegal motion. It looks like Pilon guilty on the play. Here's the call. What a job George Cortez and the Stampeders offense have done here in Commonwealth Stadium.
Procedure, Calgary 64, 5-yard penalty, first down repeated.
Takes the ball back to the 45-yard line.
I think before it was turnovers with Calgary in the previous games. This game, penalties are really killing this Calgary Stampeders, going backwards instead of forwards.
1st and 15, Calgary. Down by a single point. Burris, again, lots of time, dumps it off to Joffrey Reynolds, and Reynolds short of the first down.
Again, Henry Burris making good decisions back there, not trying to force anything. He knows there's a lot of time on the clock, even with just about a minute remaining. There's still a lot of plays left. Henry Burris just drops it off to Reynolds, lets him do the rest.
About 1.5 yards shy of the first down. Quarterback draw. Burris down just outside the 40-yard line. Stamps have 1 timeout remaining as Sandro DeAngelis warming up on the sideline. 31 points for Calgary, 32 for Edmonton. This has been a classic Battle of Alberta, a Western shootout.
And now it's going to be all about the clock. They're in field goal range right now, but they'd love to get a lot closer. So even if he misses, they still get the 1 point for the tie.
Burris puts it up in the air to Nick Lewis. And Nick Lewis is dropped just inside the 40-yard line.
Again, you see Flowers coming up big, making the big tackle. He even hurts his shoulder in the process, it looks like. He's coming off holding his shoulder. There's a lot of emotions in this game right now, but he's not going anywhere.
2nd and 7 for the Stampeders. Burris complete to Nick Lewis. Lewis inside the 25-yard line, inching ever closer for the talented toe of Sandro DeAngelis to maybe put the icing on the cake for the Stampeders.
Definitely. They are in range now. They have everything they want. Now they're over on the sideline asking DeAngelis, what side do you want the ball on? What do you feel comfortable doing right now? Because it's all about him getting the right kick.
Another great afternoon for Nick Lewis. Over 100 yards receiving, 5 catches. Back-to-back 100-yard gains for Lewis. Burris just moves it over to the right hash marks for Sandro DeAngelis, the right-footed kicker.
Oh, yeah. DeAngelis said, hey, you just put this ball in the middle of the field and I will do the rest. 7 seconds left. No matter what, he's going to kick this ball hard, so just in case, if it is a miss, it goes out of the back of the end zone, and they still tie the game.
Remember the overtime in Montreal the other night. Ben Gahoon got the winner. And who missed? Noel Prefontaine for the Argos. Sandro DeAngelis with the field goal that could perhaps win the game for the Calgary Stampeders. Down by a point, 32-31. It'll come from the 33-yard line, middle of the field. Kick is up, and it's good. Sandro DeAngelis puts it through the uprights. No time left, and DeAngelis is going home. He's taking it to the house.
Made a nice move on Bo Richter right there to get into the end zone. Great game by both teams. I don't think Edmonton has anything to feel ashamed of in this game. Basically, they just ran out of time.
Entertainment with a capital E here at Commonwealth Stadium tonight. And this made the difference. A 33-yarder from Sandro DeAngelis.
You never see kickers run this much. I mean, he took off the whole length of the field. Makes a nice move on Bo Richter and the slide.
And there is the reaction of Tom Higgins. Yes, we've done it. We've come into Edmonton and beaten the Eskimos to run our record to 3-3 by a count of 34-32, and that gets your boots shined in a hurry.
Coach Higgins has to be happy about this win. I mean, the team offensively, they were much maligned in the press, and they came out and played a solid game. And the biggest thing, no turnovers by the offense. Well, the 1 turnover, but no turnovers by Henry Burris.
As you mentioned, full marks to the Edmonton Eskimos, who battled after losing 2 key players on defense in the second quarter and stayed in this game right up until that game-winning field goal from Sandro DeAngelis. Calgary go to 3-3 with a 34-22 win, or 32 win. Now here's Brenda.
No one has been under the microscope this week, Steve, more than this man, Henry Burris. And Henry, what does it say about you and your ability to play this game and come back with the win?
Well, you know, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? I guess, like I said in the interview we had earlier, that I guess the Lord blessed me to be like this whenever, you know, people are testing me in the stormy days. You know, for some reason, I'm able to come back, and, you know, I'm thankful for that. And this was all about, you know, we had to get a win today because we didn't want to drop any lower into the hole than what we were, and it was great to get a win today.
You know, Coach Higgins was saying after a game like last week, you start losing your faith in your players, your coaches, even the cheerleaders. How will this restore the faith in this club and its ability to win?
Well, I mean, it was good to come out here and play error-free ball, you know. I mean, we had the one fumble, but, again, we were able to bounce back from it and make plays, and it was good to be put in the same situation that we were in last week against BC, and we were able to respond well. But, again, to get the win on the road is huge, especially in Edmonton, where this is our rivalry. Now we're sitting at a 500 record, and we got a tough road game here in only a couple of days in Montreal now.
Savor the win.
Definitely, we'll do it. Nicole, I'll see y'all when I get home. Have that glass of wine waiting for me.
Now let's go up to Steve.
Will that be red or white, Henry? He answered his critics the best way a quarterback can. He led his team to a win. 34-32 favors Stamps over the Eskimos here at Commonwealth Stadium in a thriller today.